back, friends, to SI 2023, where we set up for our next game. Our final matchup for Group B is about to begin, and that's Wolves versus Liquid. We've had the first set of Wolves. We've entered into the dungeon with the Susquehanna Sonics. But now the question is, where do we go from here with Liquid and Wolves? I'm Osimitic, your host. With me, our demo and XR Troika. Gentlemen, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning.
We already said good morning, but I'll say it again. Yes, why not?
Deja vu.
Yes.
I'm getting deja vu.
Bit like CAG.
What?
Bit like CAG. Deja vu. Same stuff every day.
Okay, let's talk about Wolves and Liquid. We'll start off with whatever production wants to put on the screen, to be honest. We've talked about these teams quite a bit as our week went on, and we know that both can offer a lot. Unfortunately, it was a bit of a fizzle for both of them. Team Liquid currently leading just by a tiny bit with their round differentials in third place with 4 points, and 4 points also for Wolves Esports. That's how the division is kind of made in between. A fight today will put one of these two teams in either in third or fourth, depending on how things go on in it. That'll help them out later on in the playoffs. But what are your expectations, Demo?
Well, it's battle for third place. That's where we're at. Obviously, both teams are safe. We will see them play again after today. We'll go, I suppose, Wolves first then.
Yep.
A lot of expectations, I know, from everyone. Not from me. I think I've seen this downfall coming from quite a while. They just don't have the legs to really play in these best of threes against some really top tier sides, and that's what they're going up against today. I know Liquid might not have shown it, but we know, Ollie, on the day, if they're gunning, we know the gunners that they have. Liquid are terrifying.
I think both of these two teams are meeting one another at a very interesting point in either one of them's journey, because you've got Wolves that we know to struggle in best of threes and struggle internationally. You've got Liquid, who are clearly going through some turbulent times, as has been demonstrated already with the groups and the games that we've had throughout the groups so far this week. And the fact now that we're both fighting for third place, I really pit these quite equally matched at the moment, but I don't think that either one of them excel in any particular area.
What can Wolves do? What is their secret sauce for this? Because you see that there's been any improvements or any things that can push them beyond this?
It's difficult because both the sides, they've only won against Direwolves. And is that a real fair comparison of, they actually look really good? They should be going in and beating Direwolves. Not as, not trying to discredit Direwolves, but in that group, they are behind. They are behind it, as we know. So I think for both sides, we didn't get a real clarification. I mean, keep in mind as well, neither of the teams have even took maps off Sonics or M&M either. They're literally so even in terms of what we've seen, and it's not been great. It's not been great from both sides.
The only thing that divides them are the 9-round differential, and that's overall in the tournament. So keep that in mind. Now, what about Liquid on the other side? Ollie, the squad, we've seen them, what they can do over the past year, especially with the Lagotness change, but we haven't seen any of that just activated so far.
We haven't. I think they're still going through that transition period. A couple of things always remain on Liquid, and one of those is Palu. Palu has still been quite consistent despite the overall lackluster performance from the team, but they've had quite a tough group, and I think they've had some very difficult games. No one really came in here and expected M&M to top the group and not drop a single map. Sonics, we always knew that they were going to be a big threat, so we knew that this was going to be a tricky group from the start, and Liquid, with that slightly slower start that they've had, haven't really made things too easy for themselves, and here we stand with a game that now means quite a lot here on the last day of our group.
I think for Liquid today going into it, you have to not only just win to get the third place, but make a statement that you're not just, that you haven't fallen off. Actually show us that you can still win games and at least give us a bit of hope going into our next matchup. Because at the moment, it's difficult for me right now. Any team who plays Liquid the next stage, I think Liquid go in that as the underdogs, because I think other teams, especially if Liquid get third place, a lot of second place teams have looked really, really good compared to Liquid.
Something that we know Liquid are capable of is a hefty lower bracket run, because they made that in 21. and they got themselves all the way to the finals. So we know that this team has a lot of fight in them. They have a lot of passion in them. Granted, there's been team changes since then, but the core still remains now of Palu and Nesk, and obviously with Resets and Ask coming in after that performance. If you want to talk numbers and you want to see who's doing well, particularly on Liquid at the moment, Palu's doing well. He's positive. Resets is pretty much the star of the show at the minute, which is kind of unusual, because usually at this point, all we would be talking about is Nesk and Palu. However, Nesk isn't all too worth talking about at the moment, yet to really get himself started here. It's uncharacteristic of Nesk to be negative at this point in a group.
Now let's talk about maps in the series. Maybe that'll allow us to talk a bit more detail than generalities, because we know both of these teams have their issues. And I'm curious about the maps and how those have gone by. Wolves will pick Bank first, starting off on the attack. Liquid have picked defense. Okay. Oregon start for Team Liquid. They will be on the attack as Wolves have picked defense. Understandable. And finally, Villa is our decider. Liquid will ban Clubhouse just before and lead us into the map. Gents, your thoughts on the picks and bans?
Wolves will be happy with Bank. I think it's a map that they like to go to. I think a lot of teams, Sonics, M&M, they're aware of that. They've actually banned it against them whenever they could. So I think, yeah, Wolves will be happy to get that Bank. I think it suits their playstyle well, where it can be, very methodical. You can play that type of siege that we've seen, of course, from Wolves throughout this competition. Oregon for Liquid, staple map. Yes. Iconic for me. You think Oregon, I think Liquid, the way that they can play that map. They're going to be happy with that one.
I think that both teams recognise the occasion that they're in here, Milosh, because both teams have picked maps that they haven't played yet so far. So there's obviously a little bit of acknowledgement here that they need to come out with a good performance, hence why we're seeing maps that haven't been brought out just yet. The Bank pick from Wolves, whilst I think it's going to be a good map for Wolves, it's also a map that Liquid are very competent on, and I think it suits them as well. Obviously, Bank being a big map, there's a lot of space for the players to get in and really start to stretch the legs nice and early. Oregon, for me, Liquid plays some of the best Oregon on their day, and then you throw everything down to a Villa decider. I mean, Villa isn't a map that we see Liquid play.
It's the lowest played map, I think, of this competition.
It's the lowest play. I think there was 3 plays up until yesterday, if I remember rightly, for Villa. And obviously, it being the decider there with Liquid getting that choice, Liquid's permaban at the moment is that Clubhouse.
Then some issues for both teams. Of course, we know both of them on their best days can be the best on those maps. But that's been kind of the question and the crux of the matter over the past week, let alone on the final day of the group stage. So a lot of work for both of them to do. Expectations on operator bans for Bank. Look, Solace, we all know how incredibly powerful the operator is, but will she just not be seeing him play it today?
Solace is something that I think every team has sort of leaned into quite heavily. It's something that Liquid have certainly lent into. I would think that Bank is is the kind of map where you are a little bit more pressured in what you have to get rid of. You're going to have to get rid of something like a Nook. You're going to have to get rid of maybe something like a Mirror. So it does somewhat limit your ability to ban some of the newer operators that we see in the pool. But with both teams having a little bit of a taste for Solace, it would make a little bit of sense. We've certainly seen some great Solace play so far in the groups.
What about Sense, since you mentioned it? Demo? No, we saw Sense yesterday on Bank.
We saw a bit of Sense this morning, didn't we? We didn't get to see it because I think whoever was playing it got taken out as first blood, but
yesterday was pretty good on Bank.
I think Sense still has a little ways to go, because I just think you can just bring smokes and then have another gadget. Does the same job essentially, isn't it?
Yeah, overly simplifying.
Yeah, but Yeah,
well, what else, Mr. Smart Guy?
I'm not smart, I'm just here.
It's got to be the Mirror. And the thing is, you look at a team like Liquid, Valkyrie's always worth a ban. Information is power for a team like Liquid. They really play off that information quite well. So I'd expect to see, some of those sort of things creeping through into the Bank.
Yeah, I think Solace is probably going to be one that we'll see. Liquid's banned it yesterday twice against Dire Wolves. It was one that they just went for. I think in terms of whenever it comes to op bans, especially Group B, I think teams have just been very set on, we always ban this no matter what. Like I think M&M, for example, they're always banning Valkyrie.
And what about Oregon?
Well, we haven't really seen too much Oregon really for this competition as well, so it's a little bit strange. We haven't seen a whole hefty amount of it. I think it might be.
You're seeing it right now. Also, just Sonics and Direwolves. I know you're not privy to the info, but it's Ying and Wamai band with Hibana and Solus on Sonics side.
Yeah, Sonics love a good Solus permaban. Again, that's what comes into these teams. They have preferences that they like.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. And I'll ask you one last time. Who takes it? Name and number. That's it.
2-0 Liquid.
I'm going to say that this is going to be a 2-1. I believe it's going to be a 2-1 Liquid.
But to who?
He said
2-1 Liquid.
Oh, 2-1 Liquid. Sorry.
Are you even listening, Demo? All right.
I'm not used to him predicting. He usually goes, viewers.
You'll have to listen. Oh, it's Ace. You'll have to listen in, though, on the cast that it's both Pengu and Intero that await. Enjoy.
Thank you so much, Desk. Thank you so much, Milos. And, of course, Demo and X as well. Hugely pivotal day of games. We finally get to cast Team Liquid.
Yes, for the first time.
We get to cast Wolves for, like, the third time.
Yes.
Like the second time or something like that.
And neither team have found any success so far. And now they're against each other, and someone has to win for the first time.
The good news for fans of these teams is that no one's going home.
Yes, correct.
Unfortunately for APAC enjoyers, if you are an APAC enthusiast, all three of the APAC teams are the first three to be eliminated. The entire region gone, and those are the only teams that have actually been taken out. This is the one group that saw Direwolves go first. The one group that had, I think that Direwolves was first eliminated, if I recall correctly.
Yes.
So this is the one group that very early on had like okay, we're not going home yet. Let's take a deep breath. Let's sort it out.
Yeah.
But here in Group B, M&M have absolutely ran away with it. They finished a perfect 4-0. That is uncomfortably close on Palu's face. It's almost like he heard me say that. This is very close. Sonics are in action right now against Direwolves. Team that has the day off is M&M. Team Liquid and Wolves are going to fight for that third and fourth place spot. Nick, they both enter at 4 points apiece.
Yep.
One of them will go over the other.
What that means essentially is that they're playing for seeding. Third seed, so how it works. First seed, you go, one further in the bracket, whatever, etc. Second seed, you can choose your opponent amongst the third seeders. And the fourth seed is going to go into that lower bracket. So right now, Liquid and Wolves, they're fighting for whether to be chosen by the opponent that is Sonics, or sorry, for the second seeder, which is Sonics in this group. And of course, the loser of this match will go into that loser bracket, which means if you lose one more best of 3 later in stage 2 of the tournament, you will go home. That is it. So getting the third seed makes a big difference because you can basically essentially have one spare life, one parachute, if you will, lose one single best of 3 and still be in the tournament. Lose, however, no parachute at all.
Always love the Brazilian teams cheering, getting themselves into action. Now, if only they get themselves into the server, we get this game started faster.
Give them time, Parker. They're fighting for their final placement for stage 1 of this tournament. It's important. Give them 20 extra seconds here.
All right, I will. I'll give them 20 extra seconds.
Okay.
And then what?
And then we'll start calling out the missing players in the lobby. Which there's only one of right now, so improvements have already been made.
One in very quickly. As we've been doing throughout the course of the tournament, we try to listen in on team comms. Unfortunately, I don't think it will be that effective for you English speakers that are listening in. One team on the left, Wolves, they speak French. On the right, they speak Portuguese on Team Liquid. So we're not really going to be able to understand either of them, but we can maybe take body language, tone, etc., and then vamp over top of it, give some of our own commentary. It's been a very disappointing event for both of these teams. They came in as favorites from EU and favorites from LATAM. Liquid, of course, is a perennial contender, but they just, neither of these teams have looked like themselves at this event whatsoever. Liquid, in particular, have had some really, really tough matchups.
Yeah, it's not what we expect from them, and looking at the top 5 categories on Seas.gg, there's not a single member from Team Liquid in that category whatsoever. And you might be thinking, that's not the end of the world, right? And it's not really, but we gotta talk about Nisk. Gotta talk about Paolo as well, because they're always in like the first or second place, if not both, when they play at international tournaments. The fan favor, however, remains to be Team Liquid still.
I'm not surprised.
Not surprised either.
Not surprised one bit.
But I will say it is closer than what you might expect, 60 to 40%.
Any predictions for operator bans? Is Nook the first to be banned? Yes or no?
No, who's banning Liquid? They might ban the Iana. Every single team so far, they've been banning Iana against Wolves to take Mowgli off that particular operator. Liquid, however, they could go for the Nook as well. It is Bank. Yeah, you are correct, Parker. That massive map of Bank with so many default cameras granting information means that Nook can just walk on through the garage inside of basement, of course, as well. A very common entry point for Nook. Wolves will answer back with something a bit of a different ban. A Monty to target ban Team Liquid's basement attacks, removing that operator from play entirely. You can, of course, supplement that with the Blitz or the Ossa to still have a shield on the attacking side. But that walking, unkillable shield that is the Monty will not be in play in this matchup. Kai's the first defender ban. That's, of course, to deny those hatches. Then now they're easy to breach. Don't have to bring out those secondary MPs or the Thatcher every single round to loosen up that attacking lineup, if you will. Then Solace, the final operator to be banned. We know the story. It's the new Asami, essentially. It is so hard to play against, and those small things that you know about Rainbow Six Siege, droning next to a window, droning next to a door, you might think you're safe. But if Solace sees that you're droning right outside a door and they have an impact grenade in their pocket, they will pop open that door and kill you immediately. And there's not much you can do about it as an attacker, so just playing more safe and further back in general.
No, we've seen it on Villa, we've seen it on Border. I'm trying to think of all the maps that we've actually witnessed it on. Obviously a very powerful operator and one that tends to be removed. The bigger the map, the more value you're going to get out of an operator like Solus, the more value you're going to get out of an operator like Nook. So, don't get to see them at all, but there will be an Iana on the board. Iana. Mowgli reunited with that very favorable operator. It's the operator that Shaiko has been maining in most of these matches. Shaiko, by the way, is leading pretty much every category. You said how Liquid wasn't present in the top.
Yeah.
Shaiko's at the top of pretty much all of them.
Yep. +1 in rating, and +- in entry, and he's not in plants, of course. That wouldn't make any sense whatsoever.
That'd be ridiculous.
But Brede is #1 in clutches again, so everything has been restored back to its normal state.
Order restored.
Yep.
Oh, there's an early pick. You can pick Yana all you want, but the roaming Mira upstairs in open area? You're not expecting that one. On Square Repel, Rise takes out Ask. The teams essentially trade. There's no advantage gained from that pick by Liquid. Both Nesk and Palu, formidable opponents playing off-site. Palu upstairs next to CEO. The drone gets tossed in, immediately shot. Wolves knows somebody's up there.
Also worth noting that this is Wolves' map, and Liquid, they chose to start on the defensive side, perhaps thinking that the way Wolves attacks on this map, well, they can just kind of sit tight and let them figure out all the problems, because right now, Wolves, they aren't really making a whole lot of progress so far in this opening round, besides the kill they got onto Ask, who was picking that fight himself.
Rise entering from above after his first kill towards Square. Look at that look of extreme focus on his face. P4's not too far off as well. They're hunting this Vigil down. They don't know he's well gone. Down below with Nesk. Nitro Cell goes off and doesn't connect. They'll hear it.
Yeah. When the box shells went out, Nisk assumed he was making a rotate.
Resets has snuck his way into the elevator. I think he just got droned out, Nick.
Oh, yeah, he did.
He's going to have to fight his way out of this position, but he's got a crossfire from one of those two players inside of open area. Also has the hatch that's now been popped. You can drop down as Oryx. You can also then climb right back up.
And he's dropped. Don't say me that voice. Now, there are no claymores from the side of Wolves, so they can't claymore that Oryx had jump up, so that flank is always going to be a presence from the side of Liquid. Last roamer is going to be Nesk. He's going to drop with the side of that drone. A minute left to go. Wolves, as an attacking team right now, can be quite happy with this position. There are no C4s from Team Liquid. There are only 2 Toxic Babes left in pocket. The only real issue that Wolves can run into is that they don't have any grenades, no smokes either. But they do have a ton of flashbang utility. You can pop those down the hatches, try and establish that plant. Only 1 Toxic Babe left with 35 seconds. It's boding well for Team Wolves.
Go for the plant. Shinka with diffuser in hand, wait for Nitro Cell to go out. Ness caught out by P4. They've got the read on this anti-flank, but they're not expecting 2 of them. Palu to the rescue. Diffuser down, successful objective play from Wolves. And they'll head for the hills. Rise, though, running into Palu from above. Palu still up there, still lurking. Wolves have watched their numbers go down. P4 in a tricky spot. Easy enough for one kill. Shinka pressured from 2 angles, takes one down and then immediately pivots. Paulo needs to just play this one basically perfectly, but drops right into the waiting arms of Shinka. That's a big first round for Wolves.
Yeah, but honestly, both teams played that so well. Poor Mowgli, he was sitting the first 30 seconds to watch the entire round from the sidelines, finally getting that Iron pick of his own. But as I was saying, both teams playing that so well. The Oryx jump up on the flank, it looked like it was read perfectly by the attackers, but then what do you know? A second member of Liquid, Palu, rushes up the main stairs, it kills the person holding the elevator, and that enables Liquid to flank, take head control, and Wolves' response, go deep into the bomb site. Don't go back towards server stairs with all your members. No, Shinka went server to hold down the flank, other member P4 deep inside of gold, holding 2 different avenues. That means that Liquid, they can't defuse because they have to worry about 2 different positions. They can't cover both, have to look for kills, fight it out, and Shinka, we've been very critical of his performance at this particular tournament, and he really showed up in that opening round. Found both kills, held his own inside the server, and he did not make that crucial mistake in the 1 versus 2. He flashed one opponent, held the other, perfect bait by him.
10 seconds remaining.
He had P4 as well over in
5 seconds to insertion.
playing inside a vault by gold. They didn't expect somebody to be there. I mean, look at how Liquid just walked up to that reinforcement. In red, got killed. Not great.
Just the issue of having no information. Now, Valkyrie is actually open, and Nesk has picked the operator as well for this particular round. Valkyrie is seen, I believe he's one of the top 2 or top 3 most banned defenders at this tournament so far, so we don't tend to see Valkyrie being played very commonly. And also the players at the tournament might forget about her existence entirely until you die to a C4 below go, alright, Valkyrie is on the board. However, Wolves, they have spotted 2 of the black eye cameras from Valkyrie, so they know it's on the board for this round. And also P4 on the IQ, second round in a row. Can of course find them out and communicate to his team where they are, or ping them as we see happening once more. And just play around that information deny that IQ can bring on your attacking lineup.
Open area defense for Team Liquid, not quite keen to go back to the bomb site down below. That didn't serve them well the first time. The post plant was too strong for them to overcome. Which is funny because Liquid's roam was great, but I guess they just weren't able to consolidate on the bomb site at the same time. Wolves read into it that there was 2 players off site, and they went to the bomb site, got the diffuser down. It was pretty simple stuff. Now, when we talk about Valkyrie as an operator, she also gets more value on bigger maps because there's so many places that you can hide these black eye cams, and Nesk's right there is a perfect indicator of that. It's just a sliver that you can see. Oh my. Wow.
Thankfully that was a clone. But yeah, second Valkyrie cam shut down. The third one, as you saw above, inside of stock room. Difficult to clear. If you walk on in, prep C4 below you, you'll be popped. Liquid doing a great job of playing the entirety of the map, starting top floor, going main floor, and now playing 2 members in basement that can walk up either server stairs and main stairs at any moment's notice and go for a flank. Wolves have to worry about so many different things now because it's still a 5v5.
Nitrocell seems to miss. Does enough to down Mowgli, but not secure the kill. Bibu is gone. Rise is now downed as well as they barrel into the bomb site. Wolves at a disadvantage. Under a minute to go, and that black eye cam is still up there. Nobody's spotted yet. There's an IQ on the board, but the job of this IQ doesn't seem to be to find those gadgets. P4 instead will just be engaging in direct gunfights. That lack of utility directly resulted in 2 separate players from Wolves dying. And now when they go to attack the bomb site, they're going to be at staggered numbers. Down goes Shinka, P4 with the only kill for Wolves so far. A monumental task in front of him, but he seems to be connecting onto 2, but that's all he'll get. What little is left of Mowgli is all that the Wolves have. And 10 seconds? Not too much to work with. Mowgli swung on by the door frame. There's 2 separate players of Liquid hunting for the final kill, and it's Nesk to get it.
Mowgli not finding any intra kills and no actual gunfights. Now 2 rounds in a row. It started off with him getting basically spawn killed, essentially, and the second round, well, he's the last member alive with 1 HP because he was injured to that C4 up inside a stock room earlier in the round. P4 found the first 2 Valkyrie cameras, and he was holding that main stairs flank from the basement. That was a pressure point for Team Liquid because they had dropped from the main floor to downstairs, so now go back upstairs to make that flank happen. And you can't be holding the flank actively and look for those cameras at the same time, so Wolves either skipped a step by not ensuring that they found all 3 cameras, or they simply just said, we don't really have the position right now to take the 20 seconds that we need to find this last camera. Let's just gamble it's on the bomb side or somewhere where it won't do any damage toward us. But as we all saw, it turned out it did quite a bit. Even if Mowgli doesn't die directly to the C4, by getting injured, somebody else has to go to stockroom and revive him. And there's that hole in the floor below him. You're gonna take a bunch of damage, you're gonna waste about 20 seconds of time, and now you have 2 members cluttered up in a room you simply don't care about as the attacking team unless you wanna drop that corner hatch. Wolves, they tried to drop the hatch. But then there was Nesk on the bomb side again, shutting down any sign of an execute immediately. That's why he's, 4 kills. Just picking up one by one. Wolves, they were hovering the Amaru for a brief moment with that attacker repick, but opted to not go for it in the end.
Well, they're finding the Valcams this time. Bibu, instead of P4, is on this IQ, Nick, and he's able to locate these cams relative ease. Bulletproofs. There's another black eye cam as well. Trying to get the read, but can't really ping it from that far away.
You're just mapping out the layout, essentially, and I think it makes sense to change the operator here for Wolves as well. P4, he is very proactive in these rounds, also has 4 kills of his own. Bibu has been taking more of a flex role for Wolves in the last couple of months, and IQ is that exact kind of operator. You want to have the freedom to move around the map for this exact reason of being able to find the piece of utility that you care about the most. The Valcams put in a great position. You cannot destroy it from outside the window unless you were to toss in a grenade or soft breeze destruction. You'd have to go below or get inside the bomb site to take it down. That means Liquid, they have vision on the bomb site for the majority of this round.
Always have to be wary of those frost mats. The vault in from Rise looks down. There's no frost mat there. Mowgli engaging inside of the lobby. No kills to be found on his end. There's 2 players up top, and Banana will decide to fight this a head-on collision. We could. He says might get their attention as he's playing down below. He's in that teller's position.
It's another 5v5. No one's giving up that opening kill. Liquid are waiting around, lingering, but these yellow pings means that Wolves, they have information and they act well accordingly to it.
Opening pick goes to Rise. The Buck showing up better than he has in a lot of matches for Wolves so far. No slight to him, of course. Black Mirror at the top of the stairs will stop this advance from Wolves, at least for a little bit. Gonas will play off of it, trying to keep moving. Palu, the first kill for Liquid, evening the numbers. Down goes P4, that's the Ash. P4 has been the best player so far. Nade gets tossed in by Mowgli. Lagonas catches it with his face. Down goes Rise to ask. Mowgli, the refrag. And suddenly, this front portion of the map is falling for Liquid, but they've still got some castle barricades. They've still got some Kiba barriers. This level of protection for Liquid is what they need to keep up. In comes the Gemini. Palu doesn't want to be too distracted by it. Oh, shot through the barricade. Wasn't looking in that direction. It's Nesk in a 1v3. 4 kills to his name. Can he add to the tally? He cannot. Mowgli a big round. Wolves take the lead.
Looking very, very formidable now. Wolves taking the time they need to ensure they don't throw these leads. They had 35 seconds left. They did not move a muscle until the last 12 seconds in the round. The grenade, in particular from Mowgli, really opened things up. A second kill right after the follow-up as well. That's 2 kills in that crucial front 4 position that Liquid was trying desperately to hold on to. And it was so important because Palu found that kill onto P4, who was rappelling on the CEO windows. And P4's entire job was to make sure Liquid couldn't move around the bomb site by cutting all of those angles from the rappel itself. But when P4 ends up dying, that's when the actual entry players have to do both the entering job and cutting the bomb site into tiny pieces. And that right there is what Mowgli did. And that gives Wolves enough map control to sit down, start droning, use those Gemini clones, find the last 2 members of Team Liquid, and that's how they got that 3 versus 1 against Nesk in the end. So it's a really good job on just spending every single second available to you, not having all these wasted movements or wasted kind of decisions, if you will. Just saying, we have a very clear objective, we're going to go through step 1, 2, 3. We're just going to sit around waiting for something to happen. We'll eventually start forcing things. And that's what Wolves did. They had those flank drones down below, they found the opening kill, got the 4v5. Immediately after, step 2. You want to execute on that first room of the 4-window room with the grenade and the entry follow-up. And they found success in both areas. Liquid, one thing has been consistent for them. They always bring one intel gathering operator. It can be the Mira, the Valkyrie, the Echo. So they have info. They're trying to act upon it. But more often than not, Liquid are finding themselves falling back continuously and waiting for Wolves to get to the bomb site. But then Wolves' executes are so good that Liquid ends up losing the round regardless. They might need to fight back earlier in the round in some of these instances. Every member of Wolves, the Capital, the Thatcher, the Thermite, Hibana, even the Valkyrie, would be an extremely important kill to take out from the board because they all bring so much value as an individual operator.
Attackers have located a
Whereas
bomb.
someone like Reese's and Oryx, you're just a gun. Trade 1 for 1. It's a positive scenario to be in.
Mowgli's first engagement is with resets on that Oryx, as you talked about, but there's an assist that comes in from Liquid on Ask's Yokai drone. First pick goes on to Palu. Mowgli taking out a player that might not have thought of. Palu on the Warden. Oh my, if there was a different lineup for Wolves, this could have been particularly damning for Liquid, but there's a couple flashbangs in the smokes from the Capital. Versatility here.
Yeah, but the difference here is they have 35 seconds more on the clock than last time they attacked basement. And last time they won the attacking round on this particular bomb site. So, looking at this statistically, they should be in for a great try at this execute. Especially because, as you mentioned, the Capital, the fires and the smoke will give them what they did not have the last time around. The only decision they have yet to be made is go for a front base execute of server, or go for that backside elevator hatch lobby drop instead. Both executes can work.
Oh, there's a retake now from Liquid. They might catch Wolves off guard here. 45 seconds, but no! They're wise to their tricks. Bibu was expecting it. Resets is taken from above, and Bibu's prepared for it as well. Bibu is tracking these Liquid players all over the map. Down resets goes. It's just, this is what happens when you have the numbers that you have with Wolves.
And time.
Yeah, exactly. 30 seconds left, only 2 players from Liquid. Good news! It's a smoke with a shotgun on blue, and it's an Echo with Yokai still up. The smoke of Lagonis decides to get a little bit brazen. That's all he can do at this point. 15 seconds left, and Liquid find their very first kill of the round. P4 is down, but
10 seconds to go.
you still got 3 players to pull off this execute. Can Ask do something here? No. Mowgli swings on him. Wolves stretch their lead. That's their second round in a row.
That's again the time. Liquid surrendering open area at 1 minute and 35 seconds because Paolo fell early in the round is problematic because the bomb site itself, it's relatively weak on bank, especially if you're investing into the roam game. The whole point of investing into it is that it's supposed to last a long time or grant you a kill of some sort. I mean, you get neither. It's absolute worst case scenario. What Liquid could do if they want to play this kind of passive style of siege, play like 4 C4s and a smoke operator in the basement. Just play with that plant deny, get C4 kills, etc. They're not. They're playing the in-between. They're not finding any ground in either direction.
Yeah. And Liquid are going to take a timeout very quickly. Huxard will talk with the squad.
Aqueles picks do elevador não abrem tão pra baixo, velho. Abre muito pra cima, velho. Porque senão o cara quase me mata. Aquele pix lá embaixo.
Só discernimento aí.
Não, dá, só fui em cima, só fui em cima. Ok.
Not going to be left hanging.
It's nice to see the younger players on Liquid take a more active leadership role on that squad. Could very easily be the Nesk show. He's maybe not a dominating personality, but he's a big personality.
I was going to say.
All the same. But you've got Lagonis, who himself a major champion. Younger. Even Palu's not that old. But Ask and Resets are still, I don't want to say acclimating to this team because they've been on for a while. But both of them were quite vocal during that timeout.
Yeah, and if I recall correctly, ever since they first joined, that's pretty much been the case. Because we spoke about this before, they tend to be quite active whenever these kind of scenarios happens, either mid-round or during tactical timeouts, of course. And yeah, it can be hard to join a team as a quote-unquote rookie, a young player, and you have someone like Nesk and Paolo on your team, and then you are supposed to be like, I know as much as them, or have as much authority as them. It's like, that's a hard one to really believe in, right? But they're thriving in this environment because they are speaking up as a team. Wolves respecting the possible aggression from Liquid. That jump out on the CO and Skylight windows, we've seen it so many times, especially from that APAC region, just jumping out with aggression. Wolves, however, they want to get aggressive themselves. The Amaru with the capital smokes and fire looks very much like they want to just fly in these CEO windows once they get all the steps they care about. Likely want to go for some lobby control at least, but ask is Yokai drone. Oh, it sees the Amaru. Now they know one step off that execute. That could be a difference maker. They can plan ahead now for Team Liquid. They know what's about to come.
Drone active.
They've got that Yokai drone still scouting. That's a very common spot, and it's become a part of the meta. The element of surprise from Rise, not going to be there. Somebody else will go on that Yokai. I am sure Liquid are anticipating this. They're anticipating the play up. Down goes Nesk though to P4. Resets with one. He'll immediately head up a beautiful shot on a Mowgli on Skylight. And another onto the window. Resets, just mops the floor with Wolves and doesn't even let them get in the building.
That's massive. Liquid playing proactively now off the Yokai drones. 3 members working together on that Skylight. One below, Nesk aggressed forward on Janitor's hallway, and the Toxic Babe was tossed out by Lagonis to force the member of Wolves to move from his location for a free picking by Resets. That is teamwork at its best. And it got them 3 kills with a trade of 1, and essentially the entire round. Unless Wolves can find 4 members without dying.
Oh, nade goes up to Lagonis as he throws down a gas canister. Shinka and Bibu at least have full HP, Nick, but this is quite the heady task in front of them. Resets reads into this. He knows it's coming. Good patience rewarded. What a round from Resets so far.
Get the ace.
Get the ace.
Get the ace.
Get them all.
He's got 1 left. 45 seconds. I mean, they can just hunt each other down downstairs. It's the Shinka and Reset show right now.
And he's looking for it. Misses it. So close, yet so far. Shinka doesn't even take a single point of damage. Time for the Yokai to come in. The reverse drone. Capital goes towards lobby. They know this. Timeout seemingly worked for Team Liquid. Oh, missed opportunity for Shinka. That's a rough spot to be in. Gas canister flies past his head, then the bullets don't. They hit the head.
Again, Liquid is playing together so well. Toxic Babe gets tossed, both members swing with Salt right here. Toxic Babe goes out, it forces the member to move, and Reset just picks up the kills. The Skylight flick, of course, that is all Reset's mechanical skill and accuracy paying off, but the decision-making for Liquid as a team opened up that round for them, and that's the kind of performance that I expect from Liquid, looking at how they played in the past, especially in Jönköping, when they made a far run towards the Grand Finals versus their group stage so far. That has been 2 very different teams to look at, and a lot of fans, as myself, I'm also a big Liquid fan, have been like, what's going on here, Liquid? You lose 2-0 to Heroic, 2-0 to Dark Zoo, or sorry, 0-2 to Heroic, 0-2 to Dark Zero, and then you lose 1-2 to M80. And of course, these aren't bad teams, but Liquid is like, they're like easily arguable to be like top 4 this event in terms of expectations. It hasn't been the case so far. And they could make a statement against Wolves right now. While Wolves themselves and Liquid are guaranteed to stay in this tournament, they are fighting for the 3rd and 4th seed place. When we go from stage 1 of the Invitationals to stage 2 in just 2 days.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
This is a time where, you know, I've been thinking this a lot, Nick. I really wish I spoke Portuguese.
Yeah. You know, Parker, I wake up every morning thinking, me too, man, me too. But we can't always have what we want. Why don't you speak French, by the way? You're Canadian.
Yeah, but I'm from Toronto, so...
Yeah, but like, come on.
Go to Toronto and tell me how often you'll hear French, and the answer to that is never.
Okay, how often have you been to Montreal? Quite a few times now.
To be fair, the first time that I ever went to Montreal was for a play test at the end of 2017 for this job. So And I mean, I did study French in school, but I found it very challenging to learn a language in an academic setting. That said, I would actually like to give it another shot, so maybe I will. Maybe I will, Nick. But not today.
but not
Because we have casting to do.
That's fair. We can do a bit of practice during the Wolves tactical towns, of course, to listen in on that those people who speak French. For now, however, no talking will be happening. Not that we can hear, at least. I'll have to watch the gameplay due to talking instead. Mowgli, nice shot onto Nesk. I can't believe he saw him, to be honest. Gets traded back to Palu. The duo is there to strike back.
These trades, both of these teams, they keep such even numbers on these entries. More damage to be done and more trades to be done as well. Resets phenomenal in the previous round. 4 of those 6 kills that he has to his name coming in just a single round. Shrugs off most of that damage and then gets out of there.
3v3. Reset's very low on HP. Honestly, in this scenario, I think it's dead even. Open area, bomb site. There's not that many positions you can play that are, relatively safe. There's self-destruction in the bomb site and open area. There's a corner hatch, etc. Lagonis playing deep inside of kitchen makes sense. Has the 1.5x, has those yokai drones, which are alive so far, by the way. Wolves do have 2 grenades and 3 flashbangs to work with. Make that 1 grenade. That's almost just tossed on out. But with 45 seconds left, Wolves could easily get to that bomb site execution state itself.
I mean, I'm worried about these Wolves just limping in, Nick.
Yeah.
Only, well, I suppose, I guess the 3v3, it's very doable, but the more this clock continues to work on this bomb site, you're going to drop through a hatch or you're going to go through a door where they're going to be watching for you. Oh, Bibu's down below. He's hunting Palu. Gets that kill and then walks away from it. Resets is low on HP. There's still yokais in play from Lagonis. I'm assuming. I haven't seen them get destroyed.
There is at least 1 left.
He's going to have to use it. Lagonis still searching for his very first kill. Liquid relying on their newest player, and Lagonis gets 1, but the Wolves get the other 2. The look on Rise's face is all you need. Lagonis breaks the donut, at least, but Wolves emerge from that first half. 4-2, nice shot.
That right there. The chase down in basement. Honestly, that was it was premeditated by Wolves. They had that drone on the corner hatch instead of stockroom looking down to the bomb site, and they saw that Ulrich had opened up the hatch and might drop. So what Bibu does, he runs all the way from main stairs to lobby, opens up that soft hatch, drop down, go towards gold vault area, and holds the drop. And the timing works just perfectly. If Bibu was there 2 seconds later, he doesn't get that kill most likely, but it worked out for them. 15 seconds left to spare, they walk in that double door, and it was a bit worrying. All members coming from one angle plus the hatch. It's not ideal, but they made it work with timing and that trade by peeking at the same time. Agonis couldn't find more than 1, and Wolves will go to the bomb site that we just saw Liquid last defend, that open area bomb site. It arguably adds the most amount of flexibility in terms of how you want to defend, because you can play a couple of operators that can change things up, right? The castle on Rise, for example, you can now compartmentalize the areas of the map that you want to play more passively, which is completely box off from the attacking side, deny lines of sight, etc. Asami, same story. Those mid jammers from Bibu deny important information with the drones, and of course deny the wall breach from that skylight quadruple wall that we see from Shinge's drone. And you get information, both the Valkyrie and the Echo in play, which can enable a bit of verticality. There is 1 C4 from Bibu, 1 impact from P4. Liquid, they're playing a very structured lineup themselves, as we can see. The Flores, Thermite, Bog, Ash, and IQ. Nothing really stands out saying execute favored, roam clear favored. They're kind of prepared for everything right now. But just like Wolves, it's down to how they find these opening kills on the attacking side and isolate the members of Wolves, if there even are any.
This is the first crack at attack for Team Liquid. It's just the same way that Liquid had their tricky Valcam set up. So too did Wolves, and they read off that information inside a lobby. They thought they had the drop on resets. They were wrong. These teams coming to blows very, very quickly. Suddenly, 3 players are removed from the server. Plenty of time left. A 4th will go down, and it's Liquid coming out ahead. A far more confident attack from Liquid than we saw out of Wolves on pretty much all of those rounds, actually.
Yeah. I mean, one of the problematic things about playing both Valkyrie and Echo, if you want to watch both the Yokais and the Valkyrie cameras, you're going to be spending 2 members, most likely, actively holding those cameras. That means less guns that can fight back. Liquid had 4 members shooting, whereas Wolves had only 2 in that scenario. Third one falls shortly after. Liquid's team play and synergy right now, reigning supreme both in their attacks and defenses, as this looks almost like a guaranteed round for them. Just gonna take their due diligence here and like drone out every corner, make sure they don't make that small mistake of missing a member of Wolves hiding somewhere in the map. The Yokai drone is alive still from Shinka. If this time ticks down too far, that could be a win condition for the Wolves.
Again, this bomb site really depends on how you're going to crack at it. Shinka decides to get aggressive with it opened up, and one's on the banister by the pillars. Lagonis takes him down. Nitro Cell goes off. Goodbye, Palu. There's 3 players on Liquid, and they've been very good with their shots up to this point. Bibu will have to contend with an SMG-11. Can't do it, looks the wrong way, resets. Phenomenal yet again. Liquid slowly closing this gap. Wolves have the lead still.
Reese is doing everything right now. He walked into lobby relatively alone, won that initial gunfight on the lobby staircase, walked past the Valkyrie camera, obviously not knowing that it's there, or knowing and then baiting out that kind of scenario. So he gets the first kill, the second, and the last in the round.
Tinha drone do Echo, tinha coisa em mim no lobby.
You see both teams in the screen. Can't understand what they're saying, unfortunately, but you see their faces and their mannerisms, their body language. Wolves are gonna go basement instead. And I spoke about how Team Liquid was playing this kind of like roam half lineup and then like passive half lineup. Wolves are heavily committing towards the plant deny in this scenario. The only thing that doesn't agree with that fully is that P4 is bringing impacts on Valkyrie instead of a C4. But they would have Goyo canisters, a C4, 3 Toxic Babes, and the Yokai drones. That's 4 out of 5 operators pretty much exclusively playing around the plant denier bomb site itself. And with Mowgli's ADS also being invested towards the server stairs, that's the 5th operator also playing towards that element of the bomb site itself. Now, it is smart for Wolves to open up the hatch and still do a soft roam, because you can't just give an enemy team the full map control, because they will roam clear in 20 seconds and have way too much time to deal with the bomb site. So you have to actually commit to the roam in some form of capacity, no matter what you want to do in this basement defense. But it's very clear for Wolves that the bomb site is their priority. That roam is only a matter of stalling for enough time for them to make that utility work in their favor.
There's a lot of abilities for Liquid to clear out that roam as well. Ying will likely be the main focus for Liquid. Ask on that familiar operator that Liquid likes to bring. Very fond memories of Nesk playing Ying. I'm sure you have some as well.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, Nesk on Ashe with ACOG back in the day, that was the most frightening thing I've ever played against. It's like there's Nesk entering, drone beneath his feet. Either you shoot the drone and he kills you, or you try and kill him but he still kills you. There was no winning against this man back then. Of course, the meta has changed, the scopes, the guns, etc. But still to this day, Nesk is one of the most feared and respected players in those individual one-to-one gunfights.
There go the Candelas, an early execute for them. After Rise had such a strong start, picking up 2 kills in the first couple rounds, he's been 0-5 since. That's the Rise we know and love. Obviously taking a leadership role and using his gadgetry well, but still can't find kills, and you need to be able to do that in the kill department. Liquid toying with this first floor. Like you said, the bomb site's the priority for Wolves, and they are not really stretched out to combat Liquid.
No.
Allows Liquid all that map control for free.
You see, this is the same exact timing. Wolves take out open air control at 1:30. So does Team Liquid. But they have server stairs control, they have bomb site, Goyo canisters, etc. They can stall for further time, maybe do some damage here. The Toxic Babes will be spent on server stairs.
Askus is going to rush right in, and he doesn't seem to see Shinka, who's lying on the ground the moment that his sight returns. The shotgun finds its mark, and now it's Nesk to get swung on by Shinka. They didn't deal with the shield at all, Nick. And now a third body. Look at that. The walls adorned with their blood, and there will be even more! Shinka with 4 kills. There's a single player from Liquid left. It's Resets, and he's in the bomb site. But they're going to be hunting for the final kill. It's Rise to get it done. Shinka no ace.
Shinka needed that round as an individual player. He plays Thermite, he drones, he sits around, he watches his teammate fall on that entry, and he can't do much to help them besides just gathering information. Right here, superhero performance, getting all 4 kills single-handedly, with the ADS's help, of course, of Mowgli, holding down that server stairs position. That is the absolute base case scenario for a basement defense. That is that you do not lose server stairs control, because that is what the attackers need to clear before they get it into server itself and start doing their execute onto the bomb site itself. The Ying, through Candela, ran through the toxic bait, trying to get that kill. That means that Liquid don't have to deal with the shield, the ADSs afterwards, etc. But it's a big gamble and a big risk, because no one else from Liquid can follow the Ying for a trade, because they would be blinded by those Candelas as well. And afterwards, they were like, well, now we have no other option than to just like try again, but without those Candelas. And that's where the shotgun from Shinga does a ton of damage. The Goyo canister fire popped by Shinga as well in the bottom of the staircase ensured nobody could flank if they were to drop that server hatch or come in from the tunnel. And the toxic bait was tossed out, so nobody could follow the Ying after the Candelas went out without also being blinded partially and taking damage. I don't think that could have been played better by Shinga. I do think Liquid could have played that a little bit more safe, but they were trying to get max value out of it by having more utility before they execute later on. I don't fault them for that.
I think it just was misplaced, right?
Yeah.
That's it. You can bring the right tools, but you don't always get the most value out of it, and you don't always get the most success. An early pick onto a very viable operator, very valuable operator as well. Suddenly, your entire attack falls apart. If that's your only set of nades, or if that's your only set of smokes, and that's the most important part of your execute, the linchpin, well then, what do? You have to recover.
Yeah. And that, I mean, I think whenever you're in a scenario as an attacking team especially and things aren't going your way, the best thing you can do is lose by acting and lose by trying. Because more often than not, that will also be the same way that you can get a victory. If you're not going to be doing anything once you lose an important member or operator, you'll probably lose that round regardless. So you might as well say, okay, that didn't go the way we wanted. Let's just still try and salvage this together. Go on in, take the action to your own hands and play it all out. That's what Liquid did. I respect them for it, but Shinga, he most definitely did not care about their intentions with that round, because he said this one is mine and Wolves alone. It's 9 kills now, 9 and 3, Parker. That is his best performance that I can think of at this event so far.
Yeah, we have been really critical of him.
Yeah?
I like this Wolf squad. I mean, I like the Liquid squad as well. Down goes Nesk. He's not having a great game. 4 and 8 on the main entry on most of these rounds for Liquid is falling well below what you expect of him. The good news for Team Liquid is you've got backup in Resets, who has been quite phenomenal in this match. But the story for this Liquid squad, I think, if I was to write it, is how Nesk and Palu just have not been the same foes at this event that they were at Yan Shiping and that they've been in the past. Second kill now for Wolves as Ask goes down. Don't have those logic bombs. One had already gone off, but I think there was still one in the pocket of the Dokkaebi. First kill for Liquid. It's Resets. Of course it is. Yeah. Taking down Shinka.
Candela going out, not doing any damage, of course. Just a fake mini execute to perhaps move the members of Wolves around the map. P4 will just strike up the server stairs, and the Gonis finds another Liquid. There is still in this round.
Absolutely, and the pendulum can swing back very quickly. This is open area into a 3v3. Again, it's how you want to go about it. Lagonis wants to hop in from that printer window, and he'll do so. Nobody from Wolves to engage directly, but Bibu's far enough back to soften him up. Mowgli's been downed. Resets is so close to the bomb side. Nitro Cell goes out. Resets dances around it yet again. P4 will have to come to the rescue. He's got spam pings. He'll continue to harass this Liquid squad, but Resets is just so much damn better.
Resets right now doing his absolute best Nesk and Palu impression, because he is saving Liquid in these rounds time and time again. Without this man, they wouldn't be on Bank anymore. They would have to go towards Oregon very shortly. That looked like a guaranteed Wolves victory, but if you just start finding those kills, it can make all the difference. And Resets, he started it off and he also finished the job.
Attackers need to locate and
Wolves need to fight together more. Do not give Resets any more 1 versus 1s. That is, he wins them every single time. CEO bomb site has not been defended by Wolves yet. They've gone open area, basement, into open area again. Now with mixed results on that latter one. Open area just not working out for them whatsoever. Shinga on the dock. Big fan of this operator on CEO, all these long lines of sights, and also you're more often than not finding yourself stuck in a corner on CEO. When the attackers get those window repels or ATM repels, once the walls get opened up and the windows, the castle barricades, you cannot move a whole lot. Exactly what Wolves did themselves when they attacked this bomb site. It was P4, just on the window repels, waiting, cutting off the site rotations. Either you fight the repel player, take him out, or you just leave him be, and just as I said, you stay in those corners.
Bomb located by attackers.
You and I have been treated to a lot of 12-round games. We have actually casted the second most rounds out of all of the talent so far.
Is there a statistic on that?
There is. Dezichu yesterday decided to add up all the rounds that were casted because it seemed like him and Tim were being given all of the long games. You and I have mostly casted 2-0s. So the fact that we've only had, or the fact that we're in second, I gotta ask, like, what the hell are the other casters doing? But the one thing I will say is that a lot of our 7-0s, with the exception of the M&M games, have usually gone to 10, 11, 12 rounds.
Yeah.
So at minimum, we're getting long maps, if not long matches.
Well, interesting statistic. And
Ace and Dez, by the way, were way ahead of us.
I was gonna say,
It was something like they were at like 240 rounds casted, and we were next at like 190.
Oh god.
It was a huge difference, yeah. And then like Fluke was next, because Fluke obviously had like different partners working with her. She was like a couple behind us. First pick of the series in this round is gonna go to Liquid. Down goes Mowgli. He's mere mortal. Resets at 15 kills at the moment. Almost the same as the rest of his team. The rest of his team is at 16 kills. That is an incredible number.
Yep.
Ecologic bombs yet again. Lagonis trying to capitalize off of this on repel. Candelas to go in. There's still one in his pocket. Nope, never mind. It gets tossed out. Az trades most of his HP to take down P4, and Wolves finally get on the board and will follow it up with yet another kill. Liquid have now lost 2. Again, it's a 3v3. If these teams aren't trading, they're getting awfully close in this mid-round. Smoke goes out, plant in the hands of Lagonis, and Diffuser is almost done. Lagonis goes down to Shinka, and now it's Palu to try to exploit a blind spot. Up the square stairs, Shinka reduced to rubble. Nesk swatted away by Rise. Again, back and forth. Now it's Palu to try to clutch. He's an absolute monster, and we have seen incredible things from him, but this time the task might just be a bit too much. Baits out Rise, masterfully played. Palu versus Bibu. One of the most experienced players in all of EU. Palu has to be wary of intel. He knows there's a Valkyrie on the board. Bibu gets a read off of it. Spam ping still will frustrate Palu. Tossing out a drone. One more nade in pocket. Trying to get the attention of Bibu.
Seconds remaining.
Will be patient inside of the elevator with ice in his veins. Move Wolves to match point.
Bibu probably the #1 candidate to put in a 1v1 in that scenario because he has so much experience as a player, as a leader. And one thing you can commonly find with Bibu in these clutch moments, he actually doesn't act at all in the 1v1s because he recognizes Palu is not in a position to plant whatsoever. And if he does, I mean, there's no time for it. So he'll just go into that elevator, and if Palu walks all the way on up, take that gunfight, he's low on HP. And if not, and you have that accurate information as they did with those Valkyrie cameras, you can swing with a pre-fire, hit one bullet, take him out. Tactical timeout being called by Wolves. They want this 7-4. They do not want OT. They take this break knowing that Liquid can also talk to their coach and figure out what they want to do to go towards overtime.
Calmez-vous les gars, calmez-vous, criez pas trop. Je vais rester serveur. Calmez-vous.
Les gars,
C'est surtout Bastien, les arceaux Bastien.
on va faire une basement, ok, comme juste avant.
Understood that. Basement. That's the one word.
Of course, the one word you understand.
Something basement. I'm like, yeah, basement bomb site.
I think Rise is speculating that Liquid are going to go downstairs, or Wolves are going to go downstairs, rather, and that Liquid needs to be prepared for it. They'll go to the basement bomb site. Rise makes that call.
And then right off the bat, something interesting on the screen is that Reset's hovering the Osa we spoke way back before the round even started. The multi-ban from Wolves obviously is targeted towards Team Liquid, and in particular how they attack the basement bomb site. The answer to a multi-ban is going to be Blitz, not as commonly because you can't, not as commonly. Ossa is a more substitute or suitable replacement rather for the multi. You can walk in with the shield, deny yourself some cover and your teammates, put down the talent shields for, either a plant or for a safe position to get kills from, and Resets will stick it out. So Liquid, they are playing towards the objective that they want to achieve, and they say the multi-ban, it's not going to matter too much in this scenario. We'll find something else to make it work. The only thing is, Resets is sitting on 15 kills and doing the entry job for Team Liquid. So you have to almost in a way enable Resets still, allow him to be an aggressive player, but also the gadget, those talent shields, they have to be spent in this round. That is the entire objective play. There is no Ying, there's no Glass, there is no Munty, so this is the one upper that Liquid they want to work with, whereas in prior rounds it was the Agonis on the Ying. That was the important factor. But Agonis is a support player. He doesn't go in the building first. Resets, he has in almost every single round so far, and he has been the one to find almost every opening kill for Liquid. This could be a problem for them.
Resets taking some damage with the Talon Shield. This is Liquid set up well across the map. Not all of them. They're going to play off of each other.
Bomb located by attackers.
There's one in garage. We saw one in escape tunnel / dirt tunnel. As long as Bibu stays on that yokai, he'll be able to spot Nesk here. There's a direct engagement. This is just going to be a reflex test for Mowgli. Mowgli's been the better player so far. Down goes Ask. Rise playing above. But Lagonis is in. Lagonis is about to be in the bomb site. Wolves have read into this so well.
Yeah, they got info. Those yokais in lobby.
Question is going to be, what can Resets do? He's been the difference maker round by round for Liquid. Palu, a relatively easy kill on the Rise. It's a bit of negligence. Rise was in that position earlier. He'd abandoned it.
Your star player in this matchup so far is in garage, holding dead angles. It sucks to be in that position, but they gotta do it. It's an important place to be for Liquid.
It's P4 trying to retake from above. He's on a collision course with Nesk. You know he's there. Can he win this duel? No! Palu is a little bit better. Nesk fell. Resets in Palu in this 1v3, but the toxic canister, or rather that Goyo canister.
No!
Unbelievable. Shinka and Bibu left to fend against Liquid. Wolves had such an advantage. They could have put this one away.
It wasn't just it was a 2 versus 5. It's not just an advantage. They had the round in their grasp, but they're isolating themselves to these 1v1s that Liquid keep on winning. 30 seconds and Palu's dropping down the hatch.
Palu wants to go for this engagement. I believe he's got some confidence, but they both fall. Never mind. Great performance from Wolves on their map. 7-4 over Liquid. This is a fight for 3rd and 4th in the group, and Wolves get at least a single map.
Yeah. And I mean, this is going to tell a story for Oregon to come as well, because the way Wolves are fighting back against Liquid, well, the way Oregon plays out of the map is heavily going to play into the way you play those 1v1s and those 2v2s. Both teams' play styles are going to be phenomenal to watch on Oregon, but it was Wolves that came out ahead on Bank. Resets with 16, I believe, finishing off the map. Wasn't enough.
Oh, if there's ever a carry job that you want to see, it wasn't Palu, it wasn't Nesk, it was Resets, and at least he showed up. Team Liquid need the rest of the team to accompany him, though. Good news for Liquid is they get a mental reset, and then they go to Oregon to keep themselves in this series. We're going to toss to a quick break, and then we'll come back to see exactly what happens in our second map between these two teams.
I'm Nicholas Mortensen, but you know me as Pingu. I'm a 2-time Rainbow Six Siege World Champion and former top Rainbow Six Siege player in Pro League. Welcome to my Siege Ranked Bootcamp. We're talking 20 seconds left on the clock, you got the diffuser in hand, what do? Play the way that you're comfortable with, because you have confidence when you're in this position. That is when you're gonna be at your very best. Good luck.
conquered Team Liquid on their very first map, and now we go to Oregon Liquid's map. Any expectations on that one before we go into the recap?
I just want to point out that Rise, the last thing you saw on the screen before the break was him and Helby, the coach, sitting down, talking strats. And now we come back like, what, 5-6 minutes later, and they're still basically with this laptop preparing for the map to come. So Wolves seem very well prepared for this, and it's all saved from the brain of Rise to communicate that to his team once it starts. I'm excited.
Yeah. I think Team Liquid needs to get their spirits high. They could finish last in the group of the teams that actually make it out of the group. Now, for those of you that haven't been tuning in, Dire Wolves, they finished dead last. They are going home. The only teams that have been officially eliminated from the Six Invitational so far are all teams from APAC. Unfortunately, the region has not had a very good performance at this event. They did get a victory, though. CAG did topple BTS in quite surprising fashion. But the score sheet in front of you tells the story of our previous matchup. Team Liquid and Wolves are safe. They will make it to Stage 2 because of Dire Wolves' not so great performance.
A 170 rating by resets, basically a 1.7, that is in the regular terms, I believe. That is quite remarkable from resets, but as we all saw, it wasn't enough. Like the team effort, team game, and the rest of Liquid not really showing up when it mattered the most. And it's small things, really, but it mostly came down to the individual gunfights not going in their favor and their executes not looking as sharp or decisive as that of Wolves. We'll see Oregon is, of course, a much smaller, much more linear map, if you will, how it plays out. So all the things that we just saw on Bank might not be that applicable. The other bands might be very different as well. So we could see two entire different playstyles from these two teams on this second map.
I mean, that's the beauty of the map pool that we have right now. There's a lot of variation. Did you know that Oregon was based upon the Waco compound in Texas? Because there are people who are currently working this event who did not know that. So you, the viewer, might not also be aware of that.
I didn't know it. I don't know much about the map lore, I'll be honest. I'm kind of slacking on that one.
Most of the original maps were based off of real things that happened.
Okay.
So Consulate was, what was it? Was that Iran? It was the Iranian consulate or something like that it was based off of, I believe. Argo was the movie was based off of that same story. And then the Waco compound for this, so.
Interesting.
Bank is set in LA, obviously off of a bank heist at some point. Just little tidbits for you. And fun fact, I actually believe that that is Caliber Jacobs' most watched YouTube video. Is about where the maps are actually based off of.
Right. He made that video before he even became, I was going to say like, quote unquote, like relevant, but like he didn't work like the Tier 1 space back then at all. So.
I think it's kind of rude for you to say that Caliber Jacob was never relevant. He's relevant in our hearts, okay?
No, before we knew him as the one he is now is what it was going.
He's relevant in our hearts.
Of course he's relevant. Okay, so that's a low blow.
We just the observer just pops into our ear. How are his predictions doing?
It was like 7 out of 29 or what. It was like really rough numbers, but hey, that happens.
Operator bans.
Yeah.
Let's talk about those.
Let's talk about that. Ying, of course, being target banned from the side of Wolves makes perfect sense. I mean, this is, especially for this basement bomb site that is, Ying, the most commonly used operator to pick apart this entire setup with those Candelas, and the smoke grenades. Candelers. Valkyrie, we saw how useful that was for both teams on Bank. Oregon is a much smaller map, but that information can be equally useful. The Nuke and the Solace, same story for Liquid. They want to deny information and make the game as, consistent as possible by knowing what is true and what is not, because that Nuke gadget means that you could still be a member here, even if your camera is up. But this leaves Monty open, which was hovered by Liquid in the first early seconds of the attacker repick phase, but they thought differently and went off it again. It's going to be that Maverick being brought out in case of a Kite Claw, because with the mirror window, you can fortify that base and bomb site and keep the mirror windows intact by Kite Clawing the hatches. Liquid, they read into it. They bring that guarantee that that's not going to be a problem for us. But that's where the mind games begin, because Wolves, they did not bring the Kaid. So they still get that 5th operator value in terms of gadgetry. The Maverick doesn't get to counter.
Yeah. I love these bans from Wolves, just on the surface level. Ying is a strong operator on Oregon. Doesn't matter what team is playing her. She has a great secondary gadget in that can opener / hard breach. And then, of course, the Candelas are extremely good on every single bomb site. But also, Liquid are very proficient with her. That's a great target ban. Valk cost Wolves multiple rounds on Bank. Also a great ban for Oregon. Also a great operator for Liquid. So clearly, the 6 minutes of prep that they did between these matchups have given Wolves the round. We don't even need to play the game.
That's it. Boom. Good value there from the Retaro drone. Get the deployable shield. Its utility is pretty much the name of the game for Oregon Basement. Hide behind shields. I say hide. Play behind shields in those mirror windows to make the attackers' life very difficult. Liquid making very quick work of the map because Wolves did not have any roaming presence. We spoke about that on Bank Basement, where you kind of need to have a soft roam going just to slow down the attackers. I think that statement's also true for Oregon Basement. And because Wolves didn't have any presence whatsoever, Liquid, they were basically making work of the bomb side almost only a minute into the round.
Putting these Retaro drones to very good use. There's a proximity alarm. I'll let them know that Palu's very close to getting in. Wolves with 3 kills. They don't just get the opening pick, they get 3 of them. Liquid or nothing. They're goo, they're paste.
Oh my.
Flawless start for Wolves in round 1.
Ils savent pas, Exec. Le mec escatien, il descend, il sait pas où je suis, gros.
It's always Mowgli too. Again, I can't tell you the same, but it's always Mowgli to speak up first in these moments. Wolves making quick work of Liquid in that round, and it almost seemed like Paolo was executing ahead of schedule. No one could follow up. Toxic Babe was popped. to deny any exit point for him unless he was to run to that toxic babe, Kaz. Instead, he kind of runs towards that pillar position, got caught in the crossfire. And then the rest of Liquid, they tried to act with it looked like, but of course, they didn't have a stable area to execute with, or at. It comes down to those gunfights again, just like Bang. If you win your ones, you get further to the bomb site or closer to it. If you lose your ones, well, you won't even get close at all. It's been Liquid's biggest issue so far. From Wolves, it was all a team effort. Everybody got a kill on the board besides Bibu. And P4, he got 2 of his own in that round.
Now they go upstairs to the bomb site that
10 seconds left.
we tend to see. The secondary bomb site.
5 seconds
The
to go.
1-2. Dorms, double dorms.
Honestly, in my opinion, I think this bomb site is like the biggest coin flip. Almost the biggest coin flip in the entire game. It seems like such a 50-50 bomb site. It's like, it feels kind of bad to defend it, and it feels kind of bad to attack it. But also feels kind of good at the same time. But I feel like it's one of those, I at least personally never feel quite comfortable on either side of this equation. Whereas with like Basement Oregon, you always feel good as a defender, I feel like. It's so hard to attack it. So very different kind of play style from this bomb set than that of the previous. Bomb set is rather weak, you have to extend out, worry about attic, master bedroom, etc. And it's why we see Wolves, they've set up inside a trophy with that deployable shield. Paolo looking to maybe walk up the stairs to do something about that. Nope, goes to meeting instead. P4 hiding below inside of servers. Has the hatch open, can fall back, has to rotate. Paolo looks to stop it.
There's gunfire in front of Paulu's face. Wolves the lead off kill again, they get both. Liquid in trouble early on. Wolves in the first minute have reduced Liquid to just 3 players.
Again, it's the 1v1s. No one from Liquid is there to trade these gunfights. No one's doing anything. No flashbangs, no nades. It's just walking on in. If someone is there with Paolo, when he blocks open that wall, maybe he can toss a flashbang for his teammate or something like that. You can get the ball rolling, but instead, we're just challenging Wolves, and they are not having any of it.
I do like the Amaru pick a lot, but just hasn't really been all that successful, Nick.
And it's likely might not matter this round, unfortunately.
No. Yeah, I agree with you.
It very well could have.
A nice Canadianism. Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So nice.
That means, yeah, you know, I agree with that. But look at this. No way! P4 is there. 2 members of Wolves there at the same time. Nesk does a little bit of damage. He and resets. The last 2 to go.
Oh.
Bat goes out, does more damage to Nesk. He'll have to wrestle with that deployable shield and now a Kiba barrier as well. Bibu doesn't have any more impacts left. Resets up the stairs. There's no way Wolves gets 2 flawless rounds, right?
There it is.
There it is. Wow. 2 flawless rounds for Wolves. If you're Liquid, I think you call a timeout to settle the team down.
It's certainly now a next round. I mean, you gotta really slam the brakes on this one. Again, we look at this. 1 versus 1s. P4 just sitting down the stairs and finds 2 kills again. And then when Wolves, they get the advantage, they don't make that same mistake that they did in that basement 2 versus 5 from the bank previously, where they give Liquid the 1v1s. No, they found a duo body system, right? The 2 isolated roamers, they got together in the basement, came up the lobby. When the Maro Lagunas, I believe, walked down the Amaru stairs, there are 2 members there. At very, very worst case scenario, Wolves trade 1 for 1, which puts them in a 4 versus 2. That's a great position to be in. Whereas, let's say we're flipping that right now between the 2 teams. Let's say it was Liquid who was in defense there. Looking at how they're playing so far, they would have 1 member come up into lobby, and then if Wolves killed that member, they play 3 versus 4. So the numbers really is what Wolves are pushing forward the most here, and Liquid are not doing their very best at all to try and play that same game, and that has been their biggest downfall so far. You can go for a direct attack on this bomb site, go big tower, open up the walls, etc. Play as a 5-man on one side kind of team, or you can make 2 kind of groups happen. A group of 3 and a group of 2. You do not want to have these isolated lone wolf members anymore because it simply is not cutting it right now against Wolves.
I'm reloading.
Look at P4's position. Has he been droned out at all? He's playing in that little rat angle by small tower. Boom. There goes the door, there goes the Banshee. Again, great value from this Rotero drone. I cannot tell you, the viewer, enough how good Flores is on most maps. Play him more.
You're not wrong, not at all.
I so seldom see Flores in ranked games.
It's not the most fun, if you will, operators, because like the value that you gain isn't those like flashy plays, right? It's like, oh, I'm joining, boom, got something, and then you can do that 4 times, and it's incredible value, 1-to-1 ratio-wise, but it's not the most fun job unless you really enjoy driving on those drones and make them explode afterwards, which I'm sure some players enjoy, but probably most do not.
Liquid now need to slow down. They haven't lost anybody yet. Wolves still spread out well across the map. This tertiary bomb site, this is the time that Liquid needs to find something. A single kill, maybe.
Yeah, for starters.
Liquid did pick this map for good reason, so they know it well. It's Palu to take the first bit of damage. There you go, first kill of the map for them. It's Palu onto P4. Now Rise will fire back, engaging with Palu. There goes another air jab in a similar spot. Palu down through the wall. Unsure if that information relayed to the rest of Wolves. They've just lost Bibu to Nesk. Ask engaging at the top of stairs. Oh!
That's really good for them. They finally win these 1v1 scenarios in the rounds, but Wolves, they can't shoot back.
Palu's still bleeding out. They have been unable to secure it so far. Mowgli and Resets will battle on stage if Mowgli pops up just under the 1 minute mark. I don't know if Palu is retrievable yet. Bleeding out downstairs inside of the bathroom. Down goes Mowgli. Look at this. Liquid are picking these engagements up one by one. There is a window here where they could kill these last players from Wolves. Just Shinka left. And Palu might not bleed out. No flawless round though. Lagonis is dead. Shinka had a great first game on Bank. He'll try to stall for time. Flash goes out behind him. Twitch around, security door looking into kitchen. Toxic Babe's still there. Palu finally finishes bleeding out. Shinka takes some damage in the process as he looks to go back through this cafeteria dining hall area. On the ground is Resets. Liquid made that round look so easy.
They did. The only concern I have is, again, Palu, he won a 1 versus 1. Resets, he also won a 1 versus 1. If those gunfights go the other way for Wolves like in the previous rounds, we're back to ground zero, where nothing's really ever changing. So while Liquid did win the round, it was not because they changed how they played or changed the fundamentals of how they approached the round. They simply just won the 50-50 gunfight, which isn't the most reliable or consistent way to win these rounds. So Wolves arguably don't have to change much. I still think it's on to Liquid to make a change in their performance and their playstyle so far. The Monty could be one of those ways. You're forced to play together. Lagonis is hovering the operator. Of course, they can change their minds with the attacker repick feature. Because you can change all 5 attackers if you want to, not just a single. But the Monty typically enforces teamwork because Monty cannot do anything alone. It's also very comfortable to walk behind the bulletproof shield, but nope, in the last 15 seconds, Liquid, they will change their approach. Jackal being shown by Ask because they see this extensive roam setup from the side of Wolves. And from Jackal onto Lion, same story, help captivate these roamers. Unless, I was gonna say, could also go for extremely fast side rush itself. That's not gonna be the case with these spawns. 2 members construction and 3 inside a junkyard. It's going to be a roam clear.
There's the first E1D to go off. 15 seconds into the round. Use it to control spawn peaks, early runouts, etc. I think Liquid are right to be a bit reluctant in their first duels because of how good Wolves were through rounds 1 and 2. And now it's back to business as usual for Wolves. They're downstairs defending Laundry.
Oh, they have completely surrendered the roam game. They had a mirror window upstairs. No, actually, I don't think they put it down upstairs in the end. Oh, they did? No, they did. So that's a mirror window. Hello.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It's not doing it. Yeah. And then they made the rotations, the impacts, but you know what? They reinforced the meeting and the freezer hatch. So this is very evident to bait Liquid into thinking they were heavily committing to the roam, and the only actual expense it cost them was that mirror window they put upstairs. Everything else has been put down towards the bomb side. Now they do have both the Mussy, the Alibi, and the Capcan. These aren't typical basement defense operators for not roaming, but they might have bought back what they invested because, I mean, time is ticking down. Liquid, they changed 3 of their 5 operators to combat the roam that doesn't even exist. Mind games, honestly.
It's the timing that we've seen from some teams on Oregon. You'll hold upstairs, then peel off when the timing is right. It's exactly what seems to have happened. And yeah, you've surrendered the roam, but you've also consolidated, solidified your defense down below. The basement will now be a fortress for Wolves. They are well spread out. I don't think there's really any intention at the moment from Liquid to go towards blue unless they change something at the last second. P4 actually lost the plot on that one, but I don't think that Rotero drone got anything. It certainly didn't get the deployable shield, which I imagine was the intended target.
It's a good hold here. Good crossfires being set up. That mirror window, very important to Wolves. And there are no smoke grenades to block the line of sight. Just flashbangs and one set of grenades. Liquid, they have to pick this apart one step at a time. The shield and the mirror on the front side is a problem.
Absolutely is. That's when the Bibu's going to sit in front of and patiently wait. Taunt Liquid in. Tie game for Team Liquid if they can prevail on this round. Mowgli goes down, first player from Wolves. Liquid have suddenly come into the back of the bomb site, and they're dominating every step of the way. Bibu the only kill so far with Wolves. 4 players still left, but there's a Capkin trap. P4 from the grave as Bibu will get swung on and looks the wrong way. Now it's Liquid fired up and ready to go.
You know who's firing back? Nesk on the entry, walking down that tower stairs, finding kill after kill, opening things up for Team Liquid. The members are working together. Every single one from Liquid doing their job excellently in that round. While that backside execute happened, they were still investing Rotero drones on the front side, throwing flashbangs, and one member of Liquid actually stayed on that freezer staircase with a long line of sight, cutting that small box mirror in half, so that when Wolves rotated, there was another free kill into the pocket of Liquid to further advance their man advantage. Very nicely done from them. The fake roam from Wolves, it was nicely prepared for. It seemed to have done the job in terms of mind games, but it doesn't net them the round. When you have that mossy alibi based in Oregon, they don't really give you the most amount of value that you get for your money's worth. No Goyo. You don't have C4s in the same capacity. You could use more deployable shields perhaps, or a Jaeger. There are certainly other options they could have invested into. And speaking of, you can attack or repick all 5 operators. Look at Liquid. All 5 members changing their operators around because of this bombs are being shown and being upstairs. And yes, Monty will actually see play from Liquid. They tried 3 or 4 times hovering the operator, but they always ended up changing their mind towards the end. Now, they stick it. There are 4 members on the lobby side. They want to pick apart this master bedroom trophy setup, and Monty is an excellent operator to do just that, because you can walk on in, start bullying them on that shield position, and just start taking map control. It's going to be a quick one for them, as they're just going to about to walk into master bedroom in the first 30 seconds. I don't want to be Bibu right now.
No, he's about to get absolutely trampled. Or so we think. I mean,
here it comes.
Yep. Oh, Ask with 2 kills very quickly. Bad showing from Wolves. 45 seconds in. Liquid have killed 3. The Monty is still there. Eyes in trouble. What? Liquid in 50 seconds win it flawlessly.
I think we can study that round down to a T in like replay, because that is arguably the most perfect timed round I have ever seen. The moment Bibu runs away, Gen window, bam, gets 2 kills. The moment that last member is alive, there's a multi staring you down, 2 members swinging you, big window being opened up, they are everywhere on the map. And they only did a 30-second setup for it. I'm not surprised the timeout gets taken out from Wolves. They lost 3 rounds in a row, 2 of them almost flawless. And they've lost both the primary, secondary, and tertiary bomb side.
Here I was thinking after, what was it, the second round, 2 flawless rounds in a row for this Wolves squad. And I'm saying, oh, they have to clearly call a timeout from Liquid. What didn't Liquid do? They didn't call a timeout. What did Liquid do? They win the next 3 in a row with a flawless of their own. They almost had 2 flawlesses, actually.
Yeah.
How demoralizing for Wolves after a triumphant start. And reason for confidence, but not to be found. There's a reason why Team Liquid went to this map. We're starting to see it.
Yeah, and this is the first time this entire series that Liquid actually, they are controlling the pace and how these rounds are playing out, because it was Wolves throughout all of Bang. Even though they lost, but they were the ones making all the moves and controlling pretty much every single instance of the round. Now, that's been flipped entirely. that previous round that we just saw on the upstairs attack, that is changing everything for Wolves. I mean, they have to now respect the Monty, and that's problematic because the only way to respect it is to start playing closer together, first of all, to establish crossfire so that Monty cannot single you out, but also you don't have as much operator freedom as a defending team anymore. You can run around on a Mossy and an Alibi because they don't do anything against the Monty. You need these kinds of operators like Oryx so that if Monty's alone, you can just run into him, knock him down, and then get the kill. You need Toxic Babes, C4s, Impacts, etc. But it's also Oregon-based with defense. You need your Wamai, you need your Jaeger because grenades are an issue, smokes are an issue. So all of a sudden, Wolves are most likely in a position where they want to play like 7 different defenders. They can only pick 5. And to make matters even worse, they just lost one of their 2 mirror windows. The most important one, the one facing the lobby side, the front attack. With this Monty on the board, I mean, the world is your oyster. You can attack anywhere on the map, front, back, split, etc. because it gives you the freedom to just walk on in and apply that chaos effect for the defenders to be like, snap, like we can't stop this thing just walking toward us. At best, Mowgli can run into Monty as an Oryx, knock him down, get the kill, but he too will die shortly after, most likely. That's the best case scenario in this round for Wolves. Of course, there's no roam again. It's 5-minute bomb site, just like the previous rounds.
I mean, you're going to roam against a Montaigne? I suppose you have to pick your poison here because it's not even about roaming against the Montaigne. You're going to sit inside the site and die to the Montaigne?
Yeah, it's one of those, like, what do we do? Because either scenario doesn't look too appealing.
No, you're absolutely correct. Gonus getting so much intel off of this single drone. And here come Ask's Twitch drone, but it doesn't accomplish anything, gets shot away.
Yeah, that's the last Twitch drone as well. The first one was shot early in the round, so that last backside mirror window will stay alive, but as I said, it's pretty low value. It's not the one you care about if you're the defending team. You already lost the one you care about. And now we see that Monty effect walking down the freezer stairs. Very alone is Lagonis, but he's still keeping 2 members' attention from Wolves because you can't fight him alone. Or 3, should I say.
They're all just stacked up in the same area. Nobody dead yet. 1 minute to go. The Monty arching forwards. I believe he missed. And now Mowgli's going to take it down. Damage, he misses again. Lagonis ends up getting the kill. That was comical and how poor that could have gone for Mowgli. Resets is going to walk in and like the Grim Reaper, he's going to snatch a bunch of souls. Shinka left alone yet again. 1v3, at least he doesn't have to deal with a shield breathing down his neck. Over through electrical by Pillar. Ask wins that one. Wolves might have started off with 2 flawless rounds, but that's all they get. First half in the books, Liquid on top, 4-2.
And again, looking at how Liquid attacks that round, it gets really weird with the Monty Oryx situation inside of Freezer. That's really, really rough for both teams. But after that, how Liquid covers each other on the entry, right? One person walks deep laundry, second person swings that corner of the laundry machine and saves his teammate by winning that gunfight and shutting down that position. Then they walk together through the bomb site, and the crossfire from both the hallway and the rotate of laundry finds the member inside of B bomb site itself. Last member Shinka inside of elbow can't do much, can't walk back. The retake almost impossible. Even if you kill the member of Liquid that was in that pillar position with the DMR on Twitch, it doesn't really change the ultimate outcome of the round because bomb is gonna be going down. Crossfire is established. You're playing 1 vs 2, and you got the SMG-11 on these long engagements. It's not a great place to be in. And Shinka, he found himself in the opening execute moments on Bang, playing a front-forward smoke. Now in Oregon, Shinka's in the back of the bomb site, holding an important area that needs to be covered by someone. But when you're on the smoke, you want to be where the battle is going to be happening, to utilize your gadget and that shotgun SMG in close quarter scenarios. That wasn't the case for Wolf in the previous round, and it might have been one of the reasons why that round was a bit more difficult for them. Meanwhile, Ask putting a very offensive shield in the midst of this double door to blue. No one's coming. The armor went into big tower tier 3. It's going to be a roam clear from Wolves, from small tower west side, and one member in big tower caught in that roam rotation. So Wolves, they clear out the roamers on freezer stairs inside a server. They can do that with verticality by Buck going up above, isolate that server member, and try and get an early pick or force them back.
P4 is about to press into attic. Rise on the other side.
Yeah. So they're waiting for the setup here. Buck's gonna go above, open the floor, force Lagonis back. It buys time on the clock for Liquid. It's nicely done for them. They don't fight for their lives, and rightfully so, they shouldn't. Wolves, they show that they have all their areas covered as well by both getting big tower control, that gives you the attic rotating presence as well, and then the Buck can do his job. A nice little ABC there from Wolves, proving that they have studied this game to a T.
No kills yet. Wolves much slower on this very first attack than we saw out of Liquid. I like this inventive Kiba barrier that will give them a prompt as to somebody coming through blue. Nade goes down. That should be the Banshee cleared away. Yes. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, it stays alive.
That is confounding. I don't know why that would be.
Either way, Banshee's not going to define the round, of course.
Yeah.
With this barrier, however, it is going to stop Wolves from getting inside of that double-door blue area. Rise is struggling with the vault prompt, can't get up there. It gives you a tiny angle in towards... Nope. Is he going to give up, or do you think he's going to keep trying? He's... Come on.
Yeah, there we go.
Good job.
He made it happen. Amidst the smoke, the gas going. He can't find a pick. 45 seconds. Can Wolves? Can they inch closer? Very slow round, painfully slow round so far. Very strategic round.
But here they gotta go. Explode like Liquid did as well.
Absolutely, and they thought they got that Banshee earlier on, they couldn't do it. Now Wolves will take the engagements. Can Liquid rebuff them? Rise looks to the left, looks to the right. There's a shotgun from Lagonis there. One target down, but cannot get Mowgli. Wolves on the board now as well. Mowgli sustaining damage. Ask coming out of elbow, but Liquid is winning all of these duels. 2v4 for Wolves, make that 1v4. Mowgli will need to clutch up. Gets a single kill, holds onto the diffuser. But Liquid's there. They're waiting for it, and they're ready. Mowgli to go with diffuser down. He's out of time if he falls off, which he does. And it's Ask to clear the round out. Okay, I understood that one.
That's it.
5 rounds in a row for Team Liquid.
Something has clicked for them. I mean, they are looking like they are playing together in top form. And honestly, it literally was... Round number 1 and 2, Liquid, they lose flawlessly. Absolutely terrible state that they're in. Then, third round and 4 till now that we just saw round number 7, a completely different team showed up in the server, right? Round number 3, it was still that isolated individual performance from Liquid winning gunfights, but 4 through 7 has been absolute team synergy and team coordination on the map. Always having 2 members, always getting the trades. When they were on the attacking side just 2 rounds ago, they were spending like the first minute 40 seconds setting up, then exploding on towards the bomb side, trading in favorable numbers and getting all the control they care about. Now then they went on defense, they start basement, like same story. They established those crossfires. The moment Wolves, they aggressed forward, they were not just falling backwards for Liquid, going deeper towards the bomb side. They actually aggressed forward to shake their hands in the middle and then stab them right in the gut in front of their very eyes.
It was very graphic imagery.
Yeah,
this is a family show.
I'm so sorry.
This is a family show, and you're saying things that are...
They shook their hand and then asked if they want some candy, and then they gave it to them. That's like very nicely done, no?
Sure. That one's better.
Yeah. It's very family friendly. If we're on like a beachy, we don't really have a beachy map because we're like indoors. Rainbow Six Siege, if we had a beachy map, they could like ask them to build a sandcastle together, like step on it, you know? That's like the ultimate disgrace on the beach.
I wish I was that sandcastle.
No, that's not, you can't say that either. We have Anna in the server, okay? We all know.
I like that pivot. Very good. Very, very good. This is a family show.
Sure.
What a round this has been. Not based off the action, there hasn't been much of it, but the commentary.
Fantastic commentary, yeah.
Try not to make ourselves the star of the show. It's the 2 teams right now. And Mowgli, the first one involved, with any words being spoken to the opponents. He's on 1 HP as Yana.
But he's done his job. I mean, he cleared the shield inside a trophy, took a bit of damage in return, has 1-1 nade in pocket, but the mirror went on that attic wall from Paolo. I mean, that's the primary position that Wolves should have to worry about, essentially. And it's not easy to deal with that mirror window because Wolves have not attacked the big tower yet. They haven't opened up that attic wall, which would give them a direct line of sight to deny that position. But they are slowly looking to make progress in this area. One wall is soft, one is reinforced, but the good news is for Wolves, it's a Sophia and a Thermite on that side of the map. They can deal with both of these walls, depending on how they want to spend their utility. And with Rise in this position, can open it up, deny the mirror position. That allows the other group of Wolves in Master Bedroom, right here, to progress forward on their side of the map. So it's really a two-group punch right now, and you gotta help one to help the other, essentially.
Shinka droning out attic. He'll discover at least one player from Team Liquid. There goes the gas as well. In terms of those toxic canisters, Laguna still has 2 left, 35 seconds or so. That's pretty good timing. Shinka's the first to go down, but they trade out as Bibu has his teammates back. We're in the execute right now, and finally attic control seems to be clear. Wolves are just in. It's resets against the world. Diffuser going down, and sound of the impact at the top of White will give his position away. Dusts off P4. Bibu and Rise, the 2 most experienced players on this team, to stand along with the Diffuser. Timer will go. Resets. Plays that almost perfectly. But the exhale from Wolves tells the story. That was a close one. They know it. Wolves pick up their very first round on attack. And it breaks the 5-round streak Liquid was on.
They couldn't break that attic mirror setup, so they thought, you know what, they just run around it. Going through that soft door instead of generator towards the bomb side, sprint up the wide stairs, jump in the big window, and just have each other's backs on the trades. But no trades were really needed. They just won their gunfights on the entry itself, and then the last members of Liquid are off the bomb side, have to play for a retake and resets. Almost got it. Got down to that last 1 versus 1, but that is the most difficult position to be in of any clutch. In a 1v5, you're always thinking, I'm not gonna win this. I can just kind of play free and lose. I have no pressure on me. Getting the first kill, the second kill, etc. The most difficult position that you will end up in is naturally the 1v1, because all of a sudden you can actually win the round. All of a sudden that pressure, it starts creeping on back and you're thinking, I can do something incredible, something absolutely heroic. Win a 1 versus 5 and then you choke.
No, Heroic are playing later. I actually don't even know if Heroic plays today because we're not casting them.
I actually don't know either.
We are casting their group mates later in FaZe Clan versus Team Secret.
That is correct. They'll define who gets to go home from that group. That's going to be between FaZe and Secret based off the point system that is currently happening in that group.
Correct.
But for this one, it's about Wolves and if they can keep up the same pace as last round. Right now, for the attackers, all the rounds that the attacking teams have won between both of these have been about the execute in the last 30 seconds, right? It's been 4v4, 5v4s, etc. A lot of their bodies alive in the map. Not much happens in the early stage. It's all about how well you can play together in the chaos of the last 20 seconds. And Liquid, they got some of those others to counter that. The Capcan, the Yokai drones, etc. Paolo, building a lead for his team, finds the opening kill onto P4. That's Buck removed from play. A very important operator for Wolves, actually, because they want to use that gadget to destroy the floor towards the bomb side from up above. They will struggle to do so now because there's no soft breach at all besides those ass breaches. Only 2 of those in pocket as well, so very limited soft destruction from above they can do now. Wolves might have to reconsider their approach and how they're going to break apart this round. Could go meeting, breach open the wall with Thermite. That seems like the best option right now, given the lack of soft breach, rather. Even that wall is soft. It's all soft walls. Really wish you had a bug right now that was alive.
Oh. First time we're seeing this dining bomb site, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Tertiary preferred by Wolves was that meeting bomb site. Dining now. Nice kill by Mowgli. Paulo decides to get a bit too aggressive, and another from Mowgli. On to Ask. Liquid are just going to throw bodies at this problem, and the bodies are going to hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Mowgli with his 3rd kill. Now it's Nesk to fall. Bibu, full ammunition. It's resets again against the world. He's on Smoke. We know Smokes can take multiple engagements, but Bibu gets kill number 2 for him on the round. I can't understand you.
I heard like machine the first time towards Mo. He's like, "You're a machine."
I don't know.
He got the double kill in the hallway. That really changed the outcome of that round because all of a sudden, Wolves, they have the advantage. I'd argue that Liquid might not have needed to over-aggress in that manner, but it has been working so far for them to great effect. So why not keep doing it? This is the first time they got punished by Wolves in quite some time. It's gonna force a tactical timeout to discuss the course of action next, as it's a 5-4 scoreline still in favor of Liquid.
I mean, Liquid are still in a good shape. I don't think they need to call this timeout here, Nick. I do wonder if maybe there's something that Hugsword heard, or maybe that's something the leadership on the team heard about confidence, about communication. Maybe they're just getting quiet. The comms are falling off. Sometimes you need a tactical timeout to wake the team up. Hey, you're not talking to each other. Hey, you're not working together. Communicate. Do the Mr. Officer timeout. Let's get the vibes up. Come on, we're better than this. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah. It's when you're playing professional Rainbow Six Siege, or any game I can imagine for that matter, is when you start losing rounds, or let's say you lose a round you absolutely should have won, it is so easy to just sit there in your own head and be like, right? And then like this happens sometimes where you win a round, or like sorry, you lose a round, and then like people are saying like, "Woo, like let's go, bring up the vibes," and then like it's complete silence, and someone like breathes really heavily out of their nose, and you get that like microphone like and you just sit there and you're all like, "Yeah, me too, man, me too. I also feel like absolute poop right now." And then it's, if you don't have like a good team leader, kind of like captain, motivator, whichever, to like bring back those, come on guys, believe in us, believe in yourself, etc. It can be hard to shake it off sometimes. So some of these tactical timeouts, as we've seen throughout this tournament with the great insight that we have, that we can listen in, half of them, if not more, have been, guys, come on! Instead of being like, this is wrong, that is wrong, change this, go this bomb side. We did see in the G2 game earlier that they played against SSG, Fabian called the timeout just to shit-talk the opponent, basically. Which is classic Fabian, right? He's like, these guys are so bad, give them the 4th bomb site, that like it's a terrible bomb site, but they don't know how to attack it. They have no idea. Stop going to the default bomb sites because they know that by heart. Go somewhere where they gotta think about it. So they went to the 4th bomb site on Villa. That library won. I believe they won it. So like, great job, Fabian. But that was like one of the few like strategical elements I've seen. But it was also like, we're better than they are, always. This is a discussion that the talent were actually having about how effective these timeouts have been and how different teams have used them, right? So it'd be fun to actually ask all of the coaches what their focus is for the timeout. Is it strategic? Because you have some coaches who function more like player managers. You know, one of the most notable ones of that was Bob, the NIP coach. Way back when, he used to stand behind the players. He really wasn't a coach. He didn't really know the game. He was there as a player manager to manage the players. Obviously, that changed. NIP started bringing in coaches who had more of a strategic eye to the game. But either way. Also, we got the A-Stream, I believe, tuning in now.
We do. Welcome aboard, A-Stream.
Hello.
Nice to have you here. I suspect that their game, that must have been a very fast game, by the way.
It had to be, yeah.
Because this has not been a slow match between these teams. We're only on map 2 as well. So, welcome aboard.
It's been an exciting first map of Bank. We're now finding on Liquid's map pick of Oregon, where it started off flawless for Wolves, 2 rounds in a row, and looked absolutely done for Liquid. But then they brought it back 4 rounds in a row, and now things have really tied up. Both teams on their attacking side, it's all about that last 20-second aggressive execute and finding those kills in the fray of it all. And Team Wolves are looking to do it here again as basement attack on round number 10.
It's the objective play. Open up the hatches. Tend to see these executes come in with just about 30 seconds left or so. Focus will be towards the front of Laundry. There go the smokes. Tossed out, very friendly. There's a Banshee there as well, but Palu is prepared and ready for it as Warden, but Liquid rebuff it. Palu Palu credited with both kills. Lagonis another. Bibu the only one for Wolves. Down he goes. Wolves will sweep in through Freezer. Cool off this Liquid team.
15 seconds left.
3v2 favoring Liquid at the moment. They just need to sit pretty and they can gun down Wolves as they appear. Bibu good enough for a couple kills, but that's it. It's not enough. Liquid moved to map point.
That Warden, Paolo, in the perfect spot there. It was Wolves going for a fake exit. They were smoking and flashing the back stairs of that meeting hatch and big tower stairs. Maybe trying to bait Warden to that position. But Paolo, he stayed his ground in the most accessible and mobile part of Basement Oregon. That freeway hallway leading from pillar all the way to bottom laundry as well. And that means he can move back and forth as he needs to. And he chose correctly. Found 2 easy kills through a smoke on laundry stairs. And that slowed down Wolves when he stopped their push. By both members dying along the stairs, it means there's no crossfire established either anymore. The only other members will be coming from Freezer and backside. That opens up Liquid's arsenal in terms of weaponry. They can now point all their guns in just 2 directions instead of 3 and keep them closer together. That's how they win that base bomb site. The trades always going their way.
In terms of opening picks, Wolves have gotten just 2, really.
Yeah, actually.
They got them in the 2 flawless rounds. Everything else from Wolves has either been traded back or it's been Liquid getting the first blood.
5 seconds remaining.
Not a bad stat line for Team Liquid.
Not at all. Despite that, it's still relatively close, 6-4. And these rounds can go either way. Besides, of course, the flawless ones that we've seen. Operator-wise, we're seeing the same things from both teams. The only exception right now is going to be resets on the Vigil, looking to get more aggressive perhaps. Confused Wolves is droning, and it's also why resets are roaming aggressively inside a meeting. The gadget, when it's cloaked right now, it travels up and it travels down. So it's hard to locate exactly where he is as an attacker. Bit of a guessing game onto what floor he could be on. Ask nearby for a trade and playing together. So they have the deep roamer, the middle ground man, and then they have the bomb site anchors, playing that 3-role system. Big tower control from Liquid will deny any attic breach. That also helps Liquid understand that the only real attack right now possible for Wolves is going to be master bedroom or that big window towards the bomb site itself. And as we can see, it is indeed 4 members on master bedroom side of things. Yet to open up the wall, but here we go. Nesk is sitting with those impact grenades, could try and deny it. Successfully does so by breaking the lamp below to the floor. Mowgli finds a kill to Paolo though. It's Warden gone from action.
What did we talk about in regards to opening duels? Well, Wolves get yet another. They don't have many, so that's very important. And Palu on Warden is a huge operator. There are no smokes on the board for Wolves, so not quite as crucial that a Warden be off the board. Would say the previous round when the smokes from Twitch were integral to that execute, and Palu countered that perfectly. This time, yeah, I mean, the Warden can still see through the flashbangs, which there are plenty of for Wolves, but they're not going to be as consequential as, say, an operator with those smokes. Resets now taking damage as Kiba barriers go up to try and block out the advance of Wolves down below. Resets will lurk and will wait. Miss from Nesk as there goes the wall and closet, and Wolves will walk into the bomb site. Mowgli swatted away at Liquid, actually winning all these duels, and they've narrowed the numbers down enough to take the whole map.
Out of nowhere as well. It looked like Wolves, they had the right approach, right? They get the wall over, you get 2 kills immediately, but Liquid, they answer back so accurate on the gunplay. And we are going to need all 3 maps. Villa is up next. Map number 1, bang, went to Wolves. Map number 2 looked like it was going to Wolves very quickly, but then Liquid, they really showed up from round number 3 and forward.
Yeah, impressive stuff from Liquid. Wolves get the first 2 rounds flawlessly, but then only get 2 rounds from that point onward. Both of these teams winning their own maps by the same 7-4 scoreline. Well, that's pretty good. What will Villa bring us? That is the question. We have a break, and then we'll come back with a thrilling conclusion of Team Liquid versus Wolves.
I'm Nicholas Morton, but you know me as Pingu. I'm a two-time Rainbow Six Siege World Champion and former top Rainbow Six Siege player in Pro League. Welcome to my Siege Ranked Bootcamp. We're talking 20 seconds left on the clock, you got the diffuser in hand, what do you do? Play the way that you're comfortable with, because you have confidence when you're in this position, that is when you're gonna be at your very best. Good luck.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Team Liquid and Wolves still underway. Map number 2 on Oregon. That was Wolves losing to Team Liquid, and that's Liquid's pick. Going into this map, Wolves won their own map 7-4, and Liquid does the same on their map. And sets us up on Villa for an exciting conclusion where it's really anybody's game.
Yeah, and honestly, looking at the nature of these maps back to back to back, the way that Bank plays out versus how Oregon plays out versus how Villa then plays out is actually quite interesting, because Bank is a very big open map where you gotta, make map control, roam clear, etc., and hit the bomb site. Oregon, very linear, one of the smallest maps in Pro Play, if not the smallest and simplest to play, and Villa is pretty much a middle ground between the two, so both teams should be pretty comfortable given the warm-up they've had for this final map.
Look at the stats on your screen. The only player on Wolves going positive was Bibu. Rise, not a terrible game from him. But despite the good start on Oregon by Wolves, and Shinka in particular having decent stats, he fell off, plus L plus ratio.
Don't say that.
Team Liquid, on the other hand, you had a good game from Palu. Nesk, still seemingly a shadow of himself at this event, really not performing up to our expectations of him. In the previous map, it was resets to steal the show in terms of kills and aggression. He goes positive yet again, but Ask was often put in a good spot, and he excelled.
I was going to say, while Nesk might not have impact every single round like we're used to seeing, he did have 2 rounds in particular on Oregon where he really was the difference maker for Team Liquid. It was that first basement attack in the very opening attacking round for Liquid where he walks down the tower stairs, gets 2 or 3 kills, and completely opens things up. So he still had impactful rounds, it just isn't as frequently as we're used to seeing. Wolves, they are missing Rise, the #1 brain power, and it almost looks like Helby is just waiting for him to return to share this information on the laptop to say, guys, this is the game plan. Because remember, Wolves, they had a long time spent watching that laptop talking strategy and preparation for this Oregon match to come, and it didn't get them the result they wanted as they lost 4-7. Liquid, they already look pretty ready. Headsets on, in-ears in. They want to get going.
Oh, of course they do. I obviously don't know where Rise went. Probably a bathroom break. That would be my guess. Got to take the time to go when nature calls.
Yeah.
There you go. Fist bumps. Everybody here. Helby to try and pump the team up with Lilu standing behind the team.
The way you say her name.
Lilu?
Yeah.
That's how you say it.
Sounds weird.
Call me Milos because I'm pronouncing it as it should be.
Yeah. You and Milos are very correct, if you will, in that area.
Not on pronunciation. Milos has me beat.
Oh no, Milos has everyone beat. Let's be honest.
Especially with that beard. It was much larger before the event. I don't know if you saw it, but he posted a photo on social media of it. Oh, wow. I don't know what that means. Oh, just a big yellow bar. Okay, well, it means someone's going to win, and I agree. One of these two teams will indeed come out ahead. Starting with operator bans. The previous map, I gave some commendation to Wolves for how they banned the operators that they did. They took out Ying on attack, didn't slow Team Liquid down. They won 4 rounds in a row. Then they took out Valkyrie on defense, didn't stop Team Liquid either. They won 3 rounds on defense. Target bans not proving to be as effective as a solid strategy. And indeed, Team Liquid were the better and more practiced team on Oregon. So far, a Dokkaebi and a Nook ban, and then a very long time for Liquid to ban their defender. Yeah. And they're going to get rid of Solus. That one is pretty suitable. Solus has been banned out on all 3 maps, so the newest operator added to the game will not be accessible for either of these teams. Valkyrie banned out by Wolves yet again. They don't want to deal with black eye cams on Villa. Another big map. Another way for Team Liquid to be able to use and abuse that operator by getting those cams in tricky spots, especially off-site where you might not be expecting them, just as Team Liquid did on Bank. Doesn't matter. You don't need to bring an IQ. You don't need to worry about it because there will be no Valkyrie.
That's the thing I love about best of 3s versus best of 1s, that you can play that initial map, and, you can only ban 1 attacker and defender each in terms of teams. So you're going to, be like, okay, we don't want to play against this. Great, whatever. And then, Valkyrie, for example, is left open on Bank, and, both teams kind of recognize that Valkyrie was problematic for both of us. And ever since Bank, it's been banned out on both Oregon and now as well on Villa. So both teams kind of getting to understand one another's play styles and what it's like to play against their opponent. That's why we see information being a very key part of this. All 4 operator bands, in one way or another, are all playing around information, right? Valkyrie, literal cameras that sees you. Dokkaebi makes your phones ring, which makes them able to hear you. Nuke is to deny information in a sense that your cameras, you know, they show you a true image. That means that if you're holding a default camera and it's clear, it's clear. Whereas Nuke can sneak past them. Solus, same story. You can find out information, deny information by finding drones, etc. So that has been the focus of both teams. Respecting each other's capabilities of gaining that knowledge and using it to their advantage to build a lead for themselves. Liquid starting on the attacking side. I think it's a good look for them, seeing how well they did on Oregon, especially when it came down to that bomb set execute. And as I pointed upon earlier, the way Bang plays out versus Oregon, very differently, but Villa, almost a perfect middle ground between the two different playstyles. Both teams are warmed up and ready for this kind of approach to the map. They're playing that middle ground nicely. Liquid holding that rotate, but misses an opportunity for free kill there. Wolves get back to bomb site undamaged.
1 EE, 1D burned. If you can't bring a Dokkaebi, bring a Lion. In the hands of Ask. I like the lineup being brought from Liquid. There's not really anything missing at this point. Palu on Ash will be fascinating to watch. It's taken a little bit to get into this matchup. It was a rough first game for both Nesk and Palu. Palu was better on Oregon. Nesk was still a little bit behind our own expectations. The role that Nesk plays as team leader and his ability to get into the bomb site and get into that first engagement is usually unparalleled. But something's been a little off so far at the Six Invitational for Nesk. I don't know. Again, if Nesk does find whatever is ailing him in the game and can overcome it, this Liquid squad definitely has what it takes to go to the finals.
Yeah, we've seen that very recently, so...
Well, they were just in the finals against BDS.
Exactly.
The most recent major. Nice shot from Shinka. He had the Azami of P4 with him as well. All that said, Rise was the first casualty. It was traded back very fast, and of course it's Nesk who dies from Liquid. Again, not a great entry for Nesk.
No, Reset's trying to get off his control. The Banshee stops him though. Paolo finds signals of P4, but the bomb site's still in favor of Wolves. More damage going out. Wolves also low on HP. This is not a good look.
45 seconds left, with Wolves being reduced even further now. Mowgli and Shinka on a tiny bit of HP, but as long as you've got a gun in your hand, you can do some serious damage. Resets, hops through the alibi. They know exactly where he is, and what was a 4v2 is now a 2v2. Liquid, though, have the advantage in terms of HP. If you combine Shinka and Mowgli, you just get to about halfway of a single operator. That means that one of these bullets from either the guns of Lion or Ash are enough to kill you. Shinka tosses out the very last toxic canister. Notice the Lion is pushing from this angle, does a bunch of damage to Ask, but not enough. Now in the midst of the gas, Palu's been downed. Ask is on low HP as well. This is chaos for both of these squads. Ask needs to grab the diffuser and go for a plant, but he can't accomplish it. And the clock will give Wolves the round.
The Toxic Babe is the MVP of that round, and I think a question mark has to be raised in chat here, because what exactly was Team Liquid doing in that 2 versus 2/2 versus 1? Running into a Toxic Babe with less than 50 HP in hopes of getting a kill perhaps, but at very best, you leave your teammate in a 1 versus 1 off the bomb site with 1 HP because of the shotgun pump earlier on from Shinga. That's not a great position to be in for any 1v1 ever. And to make matters even worse, it's the person with the diffuser that got injured inside a vault as well. There isn't time, there isn't health, there isn't map control, there's no information. That's not the Liquid that we saw in Oregon. They started off greatly, and then things really start falling apart.
Long map to go, Nick, so...
Oh, we got miles to go.
We do. That Sonic's Direwolves game was over in no time, so Stream A, you're stuck with us for the next little bit. We are on a fixed schedule, and it's roughly about an hour from now, almost exactly an hour from now, that the next set of matches are to begin. You and I will have a break, of course, but then the other duos will come in to carry that load.
That is correct.
That is correct. Technically correct, the best kind of correct. Nesk again will likely be on entry on this Yana. Actually very curious to see what Nesk's entry stats would be. That would be something fun to have numbers get pulled on the desk. Apologies to the desk if you've already pulled those numbers. I didn't see it. We're often doing prep work during the desk phase, and we're also listening to some of what you have to say. The valuable insight that comes from the desk is helpful for us and for the viewers as well.
Liquid showing off their classic Monty pick. It worked incredibly well previously in Oregon. They only played it one round, really, however, despite that success. Villa, a fantastic map for the Monty operator, played by many teams in the past. Mowgli finds the cross onto Palu on that office balcony. That now means the entire push from Team Liquid is coming from the same side of the map. There's no pinch any longer, but Ask downstairs gets an easy kill into Rise. It wasn't looking in the right direction.
You consider that a trade? It was 10 seconds later.
Yeah, that's a tough one, isn't it?
I think so. I think it's a trade if you don't gain a distinct advantage, and I don't see an advantage there from that very first pick. Bibu down below. He removes Ask from the equation. Still got the Monty of Lagonas, but only 2 players from Liquid to help him out. That's Resets and Nask. Resets down below. He'll go hunting. There's no roamers down there. Nask and Lagonas rebuffed by that gas canister thrown out by Shinka, still sitting on the same deployable shield, staring towards the bathroom door frame. Resets to ascend the stairs. I don't think there's a Banshee, and I don't think there's any barbed wire, so Resets might just be able to walk up and get this pick onto Shinka, or at least try. Shinka under fire, and Wolves will need to bring in some support, so they call the cavalry. It comes in the name of an explosive, but Resets is a little bit too far down the stairs. Doesn't die to it. Nice shot from Resets. Wary of somebody flanking him. As Monty can continue to push upwards, Shinka's in trouble. 1 Toxic Babe left. That's it. Is his beauty in place? SMG-11 in the hands of P4 does great damage. Down goes Lagonas, and Wolves eliminate the final 3 players of the Team Liquid squad. Just like Oregon, Wolves start off with a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, really great patience there as well. Just sitting still behind that shield. Shinka really playing the patience game. Curious as to whether Monty knew that he had left that position or not, because he turned his back toward him and died for it. Also, something that Liquid could have done that arguably made that round a bit easier is that Ask on that staircase and Ace could have, gone below the Astro staircase and actually floor banged where Shinka was sitting on that shield. Monty can ping it, Ness could have pinged it, then you can try and do some damage below because, Shinka was relatively low in health, about 30-40 HP or so. Either he will die into the floor bang, or he'll be moving out of that shield location, allowing Ness perhaps to get the kill from bathroom door. So I feel like more could have been done there for Liquid. They chose the simplified route of walking on in, trying to get that gunfight, but the crossfire again, it's there for Wolves. Main reason for that, they had successfully impact denied the wall earlier on that main triple breach in Master Bedroom, as only a single Selma charge had gone off, and it was floor level. That means no one can get any line of sight in from Master Bedroom, and no one really bothered playing from there anyway because of that reason. So those impact grenades, just against a single heartbeat of Ace, can get you very far in these rounds on defense. And it's why we often see teams play Hibana on Villa over Ace. You also get flashbangs if you were to play Hibana, whereas with Ace you get the, claymores or secondary soft breach, which isn't that valuable for most of these bomb sites.
Very correct. Comes out the 417 on the Twitch. That thing will hit you like a truck. Could have had 2 of them on the board, as that's also a gun that Ask can carry with the Lion. Ask again off to a great start. It was the top frag on Oregon. It's top frag on Liquid right now. And while this isn't a trophy statuary defense, as it's been won by Wolves, they're still going to defend it very similarly. We're less than a minute into action, and Ask has already used 2 of those 3 EE1Ds. I gotta question that value, because there has been no contest with any of these Wolves players through those 2 EE1Ds used. Now, maybe they were used to gain map control and push the Wolves players back, but not that I've seen.
Big question is whether he holds on to the third for the execute, or if that also gets spent early, because ideally, when you go for that bomb plant, or when you go for that initial engagement on the bomb site, that's when you want that Lion scan to come on through to assist the execute itself. As he's playing the pinch, holding down this hallway, assisting his teammates, but he can't cross this line. Charge goes out, execute right here.
And there's Ask to walk right in, very first pick! Ask Nesk is just getting it done. He's an inch away from his monitor, but he sees everything. Lagonis going for the plant. Ask finished off. Wolves with 2 kills. Now Mowgli will take the engagement, but cannot vault over that Talon shield. He gets pushed from the back by resets. Lagonis, a second attempt to get the diffuser down. P4 was above. Bomb site wasn't. Down below he goes. And he gets slaughtered by resets. 3 kills from Ask, 2 from resets. That's enough. Team Liquid gets on the board.
Ask had no business getting the second or third kill in that 1v3. The first one is pretty free. I mean, he's not even looking at it, but this, he's punching a barbed wire. Then the next one, same story, shooting a frost mat. Beeble, bit of a whiff on his end, but of course, you know, you whiff, you hit your shot, you win the gunfight instead. But that simple 1v3 pretty much takes Liquid, or gives rather, Liquid the round. Talon shield from Osa, walked on in, planted it down, could stop planting, realized there was no cover. Mowgli on the flank, trying to deny the plant. They recognize that, they leave the bomb site. The flank comes through again from pantry stairs and shuts down Mowgli. Even just 1 member of Wolves alive, could not get the round. Liquid again, some of these rounds, they just find something out of nothing. It looked like Ask's job in that round was to sit in that hallway, hold down that rotation so that no backup could be made towards the bomb site. He became the entire entry playmaker for the team in a very confusing position at that, in a crossfire. Wolves playing far apart, the Lion charge worked out, made them unable to move when they had to trade one another out.
Attackers must locate and defend.
I again question that Lion, but it seemed to have worked.
Perfectly, right? Yeah. But I mean,
what do I know?
Yeah, what?
Maybe I should take the Pengu course.
You need, that entire thing is blown way out of proportion. I met a Ubisoft employee yesterday, this morning in the lobby, and he was like, "Oh, I have a question for you," and he seemed very serious. Like, "What can I do for? Like, what can I do for you?" He's like, "If I have 20 seconds left," and I was like, "God damn it, I'm not ready for this."
A bomb has been located.
Observer making fun of my ear as well. Thank you, by the way. We all have we take our turns with the memes, I suppose.
I had to endure the constant comments that you all would make about the PayPal one, and now you have to deal with this one as well. Those ads are fun to make and they're great content, but you get flamed by your coworkers over anything that you do.
But also, because we work like all day, we also listen to it so many times, right? So it's a constant slow start, but as I say that...
Well, there's a kill, and it's Nesk to die yet again. Nesk is 0-4. What is going on with Nesk? Like, honest question at this point.
Look at this. Ask and Nesk has even changed operator roles. It was Nesk playing Iron on the entry. That wasn't working out. Then, now Nesk is finding himself on the hard breach, and he still dies first somehow, allowing Ask more presence on the map, but it's not enough.
Wolves will pick up a couple kills, but then Liquid does as well. Nicely played by P4 to pick up 2. Immediately pivoting. Diffuser going down. Lagonis with it in hand. Half of the round still to go. Palu will need to be the one to cover. Wolves will scramble to get into position. Down goes Palu, and Lagonis will follow. Beautiful lockout by Wolves. Like dominoes. Once the first goes, all the rest go too. Objective play is good for Liquid, but the post plant is better for Wolves. As Team Liquid get caught with their pants down. Wolves go up 3-1.
It's a good read by Liquid saying, okay, we have to just try and plant right now, maybe get that post-plant success. It's the only real option they had, losing all that manpower in the midst of the round. And it looked good for them for a moment, but as you mentioned, Parker, the post-plant positions, they aren't really worth much. No office control, nobody on the balcony. P4 got the kill in the middle of the bomb set when that plant was going down. And that leaves, 1 or 2 members left from Liquid. Gotta run for their lives because the bomb set doesn't belong to them. And we will see, so far from what I've seen, the second library defense so far. G2 played this bomb set earlier against SSG. And spoiler, I believe they were successful in defending it. Wolves will show us this bomb set as well. Now, if you go back about, I think, 9 months, this bomb set actually started seeing a fair bit of play domestically in LATAM specifically. Liquid, they've been playing in that region for way back, to year 2, year 3 of Siege. They were playing during that meta, so they actually have a lot of experience attacking and defending this bomb site, unlike teams from Europe and North America, at least from official Pro League games go. What happens in scrims, we can't speak for, we don't watch them, we don't play in them,
But from tier 1 level of play, this bomb site's play rate is so low, it could be easy to forget how to best go about this bomb site because you never have to think or worry about it.
Drone activated. Shields ready. RCE going out.
It's the start that Wolves wanted on Oregon, weren't able to get. Oh my.
Oh, it feels bad.
That's great value. One deployable shield from one Rotero drone is huge, especially on those classical stairs. Mowgli will instead post up and go towards front door on a scouting mission. I guess he has some confidence in his shots, 4 kills, and with the shots he's been hitting, I can definitely see why.
He's gonna give up that position with the shield gone and no backup, the Banshee gone as well now. He's gonna come on back, but I'm curious how much he can get done here. There are 2 members of Liquid outside. Rise got to kill him to ask while that was occurring elsewhere on the map. Opening kills heavily favoring Wolves so far. There are some uncontested ones, of course, so trades, but so far, they're in the lead.
There's a Candela tossed out to allow this movement for Liquid, but it's all for naught as Bibu stops them in their tracks. Wolves with these opening picks, looking for round number 4. Nesk finally breaks this streak that he'd been on of no kills, picks up kill number 1. Back on Yana, the role that swap you'd said, and well, the Yana's short-lived, a single kill. Now Nesk is gone, and Mowgli will continue to just bait out these Liquid players. They're gonna pinch him. Lagonis marching down from 90, but Mowgli is holding court, good lord. It's Palu now as the only chance for Liquid. On red stairs, down he goes. He sees the bomb site, but Rise is excited by that one. I think that was Rise's first kill, by the way, in this as well. Both Liquid and Rise getting on the board in the same round is nice. That's an odd living room library defense that we don't see much of, breaking for Wolves.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, it's a weird one for the defenders, but the way Liquid went about that attack, it did not seem super coordinated. 2 members in that study balcony swung 1 versus 1. They both died and lost, and then they're just kind of coming from that master bedroom side, which they successfully had cleared out because there was no roamers from Wolves, but Mowgli, inside of 90, gets 2 kills. No one from Liquid on that 90 went to repel, no one able to use any utility against him. He was completely stuck in that corner, no way out. He knew he had to fight it out, and he did just that. But he had no business winning both gunfights rather, on both sides of the equation, and he did. Liquid down 1-4. They've had rough starts before, and they come back. They could do it again. But one thing that has to change right now is you gotta start getting active on Lagonis and Nesk on the board, just getting kills, simply. And secondly, get that same kind of team synergy as Liquid was showing previously on Oregon. They were always swinging together, executing in union, always having a decisive plan, and Oregon is a linear map. It's why it's one of the more simplified ones to play. Everyone's very well versed in that map. A map like Border, similar story, is also relatively simple. Villa and Bank, the maps that are a little bit more complex and harder and more difficult to attack in general, seems to be where Liquid is struggling. And we've seen this from a couple of teams at this event. The attacking win rate is significantly worse at this event compared to Jönköping. And teams are just not finding success where we would expect them to. And that's why some of these rounds are falling apart. Now, good news, it's the last attack for Liquid. Then they go on defense. Things can just flop right then and there.
Another early EE1D used. No dough can be available, so your anti-roamers are going to be in the hands of Jackal and Lion, one of which has been on the board for Liquid almost every single round. It's Palu now to take on the Lion instead of Ask. Ask taking the Jackal, a C7E, a great weapon, but that's the PDW that we're going to see instead. A lot more bullets than that PDW, so why not? Nesk still on Yana. He played ace for that single round, I think, when they tried to swap things up, and then was still the first death for Liquid. That was actually Rise's second kill that he got in the previous round, so he got 2 kills in that round.
Yeah.
He entered 0-4, he left 2-4. There's another EE1D to go. Palu was so close to the site, just looking down red stairs, trying to draw him out.
It's a good read.
But Rise is patient enough. Whether he has any idea that somebody's going to be above him. Oh no. Rise is looking the wrong way, and Ass comes in on a reconnaissance mission, finds the target. First pick goes to Liquid. 1 minute and 10 seconds on the clock. Now they've got control of these stairs. They don't have to worry about a late flank as Rise is no longer a problem.
But the thing is, from Liquid, there's nobody on that master bedroom balcony, so it's all from one position right now. Scatter Repel, though, might make the difference.
Oh, there's resets upside down. P4 stops him. Lagonis with diffuser in hand, but he's swiftly removed by Shinka. It's the SMG-11s to the rescue for Wolves, and there's only 2 of them left. The Nitro Cell does the rest of the job. Ask is on a sliver of HP. Palu, who's been standing pat for so long, he's still full HP, but he'll need to engage and gets Shinka on the drop. P4 from below, finishing off what remains of Ask. 30 seconds to go for Palu to get the diffuser down, and he'll attempt. P4 up the stairs, make noise. Palu's sticking this, and he finally gets off. P4 missing. The shotgun in hand, he thinks that Palu's a little bit closer. This is going to be a standoff between the teams. Palu creeping up. Does he know that there's a shotgun there? He does, and he softens up P4 and wins the duel. How does P4 lose that? And more importantly, how does Palu win it? That could have been a 5-1 half for Wolves, but Team Liquid salvage a second round before the side swap.
They do. And I mean, massive play from resets, down that Scatter Repel. I mean, that's something that you do not expect in this level of play, but it worked out great with that double kill. A beautiful attempt at clutching out the round for Wolves, but I have to question P4 in that 1 versus 1. So many options. They had information, 15 seconds, enemy cannot plant. And then you play close with a shotgun, but both shots missed. That happens. It's gonna suck for Wolves, though. And Liquid, despite winning that round, will choose to take that tactical timeout to perhaps talk about the next rounds on this side swap. How they want to defend and how they expect the Wolves to attack. Sort it out right now, build up those rounds, get back to a 4-4 even scoreline, and then fight it out neutrally from that point forward.
Ô, 4x2 aí, man. Ô, só de defesa, velho. Tem que pegar rápido, porque os caras têm 2. Aí a gente vai ficar com isso, né? Já vai ajudar. Pega aí, man. Tira, man. Tem que ser rápido, hein. Ai, homem! Ai, não consigo soltar. Ô, sério, velho. Esse pause muito troll, velho.
All right, well, that's the first half, and even though we don't speak Portuguese, at least you get to hopefully get a sense of what that timeout was for Team Liquid. First half in the books. The diffuser, by my count, Nick, only got planted a single time, and it was not a win for the diffuser planting team of Liquid. It was Wolves who ended up winning in the post plant. In terms of opening duels, round number 1, it was a trade. Round number 2, it was a trade. Then after that, Team Liquid got 2 opening duels. Wolves with 2 first bloods of their own. In terms of bomb sites, all 4 bomb sites were played because we saw Wolves in round number 5 go to Living Room Library, which is a rarity on this map, but it worked. Liquid had some difficulty pinning down those roamers and then trying to pull off and execute. Their numbers got narrowed and ended up breaking in favor of Wolves quite decisively after they'd gotten that first pick in the round.
Oh no. I hate this position to be in. Rappelling up on that balcony, it is scary. The C4 spawn peek, the bathroom window jump out, and what we just saw there is just swinging your head inside that master bedroom window. You're never truly safe trying to get to that balcony as an attacker, but somehow, still with that swing, both members of Wolves to get up at full HP, and no one takes any point of damage from either side. Liquid aggressing early on to slow down Wolves' approach, make them more careful as they get close to the building. But then again...
Nesk, how about that? That's the kind of stuff you need from him. Grenade cooked by Mowgli, tossed out, perfectly timed. That's the mirror window now given away by this Liquid team. Mowgli has that control, and he knows there's one over towards Astro Stairs as well. Nesk, meanwhile, has found himself by stag, or buck, depending on what you want to call it.
Deer.
Deer is what other people call it. Any form of that animal. Venison. Delicious. Rise took some damage, I think, from what could have been the window? Mowgli, an easy pick. Didn't expect Nesk on the follow-up. Down he goes. Liquid keeping numbers close.
Like, that scenario right there, like Liquid double swinging, that's where they excel. But look at Wolves, 3 members fighting this member.
Yeah, and Lagonis under fire, still searching for his very first kill, not gonna get it. Resets, picks up 2, it leaves Bibu as last man standing. Liquid trying to claw back this round, claw back this game at the moment as they trail to Wolves. Onto a Rotero drone he goes. Flores will be quite vulnerable for this, but he'll have information at the same time. A small opening into the wall that leads into the back of the bar. One player close on bar, the other of Reset's inside a vault. Reset's searching for his 10th kill. Would be the first player in the lobby to break double digits. Oh, the duality it would be with Lagonis on 0 kills. He doesn't get it though, Ness does, and that is the round in favor of Liquid.
Liquid, the double swing inside of Astro is just beautiful to watch, and it's very simple and it's easy to miss, it's easy to praise, but there are teams that will be in the same position as Liquid, and they will swing that member of Moke inside a master bedroom, or inside a bathroom rather, alone, and they will die. And then Moke gets another 1v1 against Nest afterwards. Liquid, they double swing it together, and they trade 1-for-1, and they pretty much knew that was going to be the outcome. That's the expected outcome for Liquid. Like, you just say, okay, this guy's a problem, we gotta clear him. Hey, you come with me, let's swing him together. It doesn't matter if I die, if he dies as well. And they do that, get back towards the bomb site. Nesk is there in the opening of the round, and he's there at the end of the round. He finds 2 or 3 kills for himself. And of course, you saw Resets covering Lagonis on that main stairs, saving his teammate's life. Well, almost. Lagonis still died, but he traded 2-for-1 again. So the numbers favors Liquid. And that's how they find themselves in a 2v1. So 2 very small instances of just like playing the odds, so playing the numbers correctly, makes all the difference for them.
Attackers are moving out to locate
I love the finger pick from Moke now. Obviously, Bibu will get to play Iron instead. I'm sure he's happy about that. But having finger to further buff yourself in these gunfights against Liquid, great thing to try. Just give yourself a higher chance of beating Nesk in a gunfight, or any member of Liquid for that matter.
We've almost closed the gap between them and Wolves. It was 4-1. Liquid now 2 in a row. They've used their tactical timeout right at that side swap.
True.
I'm sure there'll be a breakdown at some point about how these teams did use these tactical timeouts, but usually there's a ton of success. At least from our perspective, the matches that we have casted, teams use a timeout, and it's almost always good for 1 or 2 rounds right after. Oh. P4 seems to have found an opening. He walks in, Nesk gets the very first kill, but it's immediately traded back. Nesk has come online. Suddenly, he's picking up the pace. 6 kills for Nesk. He's sacrificed most of his HP, but a worthy sacrifice, I'm sure, and one he would make time and time again. 3v3, and there's only a minute that's gone off of the clock. Rise over towards 90, making an awful lot of noise. That's on the bomb site, by the way.
Yeah.
It's over on Trophy Statuary side, but with how teams like to extend out to Aviator, you might be confused and think that it is.
Yeah, I mean, it pretty much looked like a Wolves execute on the bomb site, how much they committed and how big of a gamble they took, you know, rushing up that staircase on red to get that flank successfully. And the numbers right now, they're looking pretty good for both teams. I mean, a 3v3, pretty much dead even as both Bibu and Nesk are low on health. But the one thing, there's no heart breach from this side of Wolves. So going Master Bedroom Balcony from Twitch of Shinga cannot open up any lines of sight or open up that heart wall. It's just you gotta jump in that window and try and take a gunfight. I would argue this favors Liquid just because of that single factor. If that was a heart breach on Master Bedroom Balcony, arguably attackers would be in a better position. Still got time though. Nade's coming out, clearing those corners. And Wolves gotta just walk on in and take this gunfight against Palu. 1v2.
Just creeping up. The nade goes way past Palu. He answers back with a nitro cell. There's multiple players from Wolves jiggling around this door frame, and Palu's good enough for one, down in the process. Rise allows the meat shield of Bibu to soak up all that damage. Nesk is still on this tiny point of damage, or tiny point of HP from all the damage he took, just leaving Lagonis, who still, again, does not have a kill. Diffuser going down by Rise, Shinka covering at 2v2. Rise taking a bit of damage. You really rely on Shinka to cover this. Through the wall, there's Lagonis. Ness cannot peek out unless he wins this duel. Lagonis creeping up. He might get his very first kill. No, he doesn't. Earlier in this map, Wolves were cheated out of a close-range shotgun kill, and now it's Liquid's turn to be cheated out of it as well.
Say a beautiful read by Wolves. I mean, when Shinga is on the balcony in that scenario, I'm always thinking you gotta jump in, you gotta get in the building, but they read it perfectly. That a flank cam top red that saw the flank so that, you know, member top red could safely plant down the diffuser of Bibu. Shinga on the balcony praying that it works out, right? And Ness, if he had had more health on his meter, he might have swung the last bit on balcony and just outright won that gunfight, then Bibu dies right after. But because Nesk had a single HP left, couldn't even afford to take that gamble, had to wait for his teammate to flank instead, didn't work out, bomb goes down, and both members of Wolves, they win their individual gunfights, and therefore get the round.
Attackers have located the bomb.
It's nicely done. Wolves get that 5th round. They're building this lead slowly, and these attacks are going to be intense because tag and Villa is not easy whatsoever. But the confidence early in that round to that mini execute on towards the extended roam, that's what they needed.
Now, operators locked in for Wolves, and these are 5 fragging operators that can do a ton of damage. Everybody on Wolves has picked it up. There's not really any player that, if you look at, is well below the standard. It's a good team effort. Cannot say the same for Liquid again. Lagoatness, as they call him, 0-7, and we're going to keep calling attention to it.
Yep.
Just as we called attention to Ryze's, performance issues, just as we did the same with Shinka in a variety of his games. When one player refuses to show up or is incapable of showing up, that's enough.
Yeah, it's important to talk about because it matters. I mean, Liquid, in terms of kills, they're playing 4v5. Lagone is still bringing a lot of value, both being alive, positioning-based, gadget-based, etc., leadership-based. But the kills, they are so impactful in these rounds. And Bibu, he opens up against Nesk, who keeps falling to that opening kill time and time again.
Oh, there goes. Yeah, my goodness. Lagonis resets in Palu after Bibu took some damage, but again, Wolves on the entry start things off. Resets, a kill onto P4. Wolves lower themselves by 1 number. Bibu die to an EE1D. Nitro cell in the pocket of Lagonis. That could also kill Bibu based on how low his HP is. And then, of course, the toxic gas from resets. Liquid are roaming right now.
They are. They're still fishing around looking for something. They got both the Bok and the Sledge for Wolves. They can do a ton of vertical damage on Villa, but for this bomb side of Dining, that's what you want. Take the top floor, work your way down, apply pressure. Lagonis on the pulse, can get a kill with that C4. He rips it, he tosses it, it goes wide. Bibu sprints straight past it.
Back to the bomb site. Bibu watching Astro stairs, no silhouettes nearby. Hard hatch underneath him. 2 Selmas for Shinka. No secondary hard breach brought by the Buck. So all you have in terms of hard breach is that ace. Nade goes out, Palu takes the engagement, down goes Mowgli. Liquid have brought these numbers even. And there's a hail of gunfire by Shinka. Palu is as good as dead. It was ring around the rosy.
Yeah, another flank from Lagonis. That means Reese is the only member on site. He's got a sprint. You don't have time for this. You can get Shinka, that's the Diffuser carrier. It might be free.
He can. And there he goes. Oh my! Lagonis almost botches what could have been the freest kill for him of this event. Resets far back in laundry. Diffuser will need to be retrieved. Bibu hunts them down. Nade goes out, and now Wolves will pivot towards kitchen. But Lagonis might try to cut them off. Running towards the stairs through the red hall. Will he be greeted by Wolves or not? Sledge is in, and there's a Capkin trap. They didn't know about it. Ryze will need to get the diffuser down. That's exactly why these traps are so strong. Reset should be able to get there in time, and he does. Technically, the diffuser goes down, but the timing still benefiting Liquid. And that's their round to keep it close.
Something that I would love to see from Lagonis is holding Shinka hostage on a library here. Instead of going for the kill immediately, which I know that's the instinctive thing to do because there's 20 seconds left, it's very beneficial for you. If you just sit there and wait for Shinka and Ace to get off his drone, you can burn down that timer even further, and that's when Wolves are really going to be in a rough position and to rush the bomb side. But either way, it was played beautifully by Liquid. Lagonis gets the kill, immediately rotates back to bomb side across the map and resets on the bomb side. He was just hiding in a corner so far away, not risking dying. And then to make things even worse, the Capkin trap waiting to make that an absolute disaster for Wolves, because to be honest, if there were still 2 members alive and Bibu didn't die to the Capkin trap, they could have easily covered that diffuser going down, and that creates that post-plant what if, where Wolves can fight it out 2v2, But instead, it was a 1v2 with no cover, bomb does technically go down, but so late that it wouldn't matter at all.
I mean, yeah, it's the fact that the diffuser got planted is not really that important.
No, just it's nice for stats, I suppose. That's really the only factor there. Planting stats, actually. I was looking at this morning. None of these teams are on there in top 5. It's Uno on Heroic, G-Man OXG, Julian on W7M, Breedy on BDS, and Kino from M80.
What match was it that we casted yesterday where the entire first round, the diffuser went down?
That was the Heroic game against FaZe. Uno planted 8 times over 2 maps. 6 times in 1 map.
Good lord.
He's first in plants now because of it.
Yeah. 9 successful plants from Heroic in that entire matchup. What is going on?
No?
We are 30 seconds into the round, and suddenly 4 players on Wolves, all dead.
They rushed.
What the hell was that?
3 members in an instant.
Resets. Again, a double-digit performance first match. What did he finish with? 16, 17 kills, ultimately in a loss.
Yeah.
Look at Shinka's face and look at the way he's playing this. 2 minutes left, so we're just going to fill the air because they're taking their time out.
Yeah. That's my bad for putting up stat numbers of plants. I was not expecting a rush this round, I'll be honest. I thought the armor was going to be like a late 90 window push up the 90 hatch kind of vibe because that's typically what we see. But they were straight through Office into their demise. Resets, right place, right time, gets 3 kills. Lagonis with the 4th with that shotgun. He is now 2 and 7. And as you can see, Shinka, he's checking out the tile job. If it was a good job well done, if there are problems, concerns, default cam, window gone. In the closet he goes.
What are you doing right now?
I'm just pointing out all the beautiful...
Keep going, you know what?
Yeah?
Take it.
Okay. Door frame, carpet, gunfight, yikes. Flawless.
Poetry.
Also known as poetry.
Poetry. Team Liquid tie the game. 7-4 was the scoreline in the first 2 maps. We will not see that again. We'll need all 12 on Villa.
It's kind of what I want, I'll be honest with you, because Oregon, it didn't go all the way. It was a 7-4 victory in favor of Team Liquid, but I kind of wanted more out of it. I'm super happy for the deciding map to take us all the way to overtime because these rounds are so close for the most part. Sure, that was a flawless round that we just witnessed, but that's a rush from Wolves trying to do this off-pace kind of play when the pressure is almost at its highest. Liquid are gonna go, they're not gonna take these massive gambles right now because it's a 5-4 scoreline. It's too risky. Wolves, they go for the play. Super, super quick, instantly punished. Now it's 5-5. Things are really closing on in. And it's 1 round to this team, 1 round to the other. Bomb site-wise, Liquid, they're just gonna go through those ABCs. They go AVG, downstairs to dining, and now to trophy. Of course, they're gonna extend across the map, assert their map presence, let it be known that they are there. Paolo actually showing off quite the rarity of an operator of Thorn. We have not seen Thorn played very commonly. It's like the 3rd or 4th time that I've seen the operator being played at least. The weapon did get nerfed in the most recent patch. Paolo is opting for the barbed wire, although it has yet to be placed down on the ground. It's still in pocket.
A bomb has been located.
Curious to see what the plan is there. Amaru, 2nd time in a row, P4. Looking to go in fast, perhaps, but no, it's Rise on the rappel and P4 doing the drone duty instead. Want to clear out Office, 90, etc. and start working their way across the map from west side over.
Upside down rappel by this 90 window. We find anything with the proximity? No. Thought that maybe one of those projectiles would give some information. And P4 gets some information when he decides to kamikaze through the window. Ask dies. So Rise did find something for his troubles from that spot that we saw him on earlier. Clear out the roamers, then push towards that trophy statuary bomb site. But speaking of roamers, that's a Gemini. Nice to see a Thorn on the board. Not a huge pick rate for this Irish lass. And has one of those razor blooms in the back pocket. Will it get expended? Because Palu's being focused on by several different players. And Mowgli will secure. Bibu drops to Lagonis, so they trade at least. Lagonis still over towards 90. Wolves just inching away as they continue to trade. Half of the round to go. Lagonis, who's managed to put up a couple kills since we called him out for that 0-7. Survived 2 rounds in a row. He's got Mowgli and Rise. It'll be breathing down his neck. The benefit for Wolves is that the action happens so fast that there's plenty of time now for them to work with.
Yeah, there's not a single member on the bomb side. There's a 5v5 brawl in AVG, down to a 1v2, both members top red. Drone goes out. We gotta trade this player for Gonis inside the master bedroom.
Can he do it? No, he can't. Wolves! Series point!
Another big round. Looks like an AVG defense, but you would be wrong. It just happens to be with all the action happening. A bit questionable from Wolves to start things off. The Amaro flying inside 90 window, dying for seemingly nothing. But the follow-up, what happened after that? Capturing Paolo inside of that bar. 3 members just perfectly playing together, not really exposing themselves too much, gets that kill, and then it's a 1-for-1 all the way down to the 2 versus 1, while Agonis on the castle, half HP, manages to go back to the bomb site, has information to work with, but the UMP, it is probably the worst gun to have in that scenario. No high fire rate, gotta hit your head's first bullet. You're up against something like a Jackal, that's a tough one to win. Liquid, however, they believe that that round was a fluke. They can go back to that same exact bomb site and play it out in a similar fashion, similar operators. However, getting a different result is their objective. Paolo has changed from Thorn onto Mossy, so an arguably maybe more comfortable gun for him with that fire rate. Get a C4 this time, deny those injured drones from Wolves. If anything, Liquid, they can play a little bit closer together, but because Paolo did not have the utmost assistance in that previous round, that could be how they break it apart. Wolves are off the Amaru. They're done playing those funny games. Shinka is going for the Nomad to help make sure that once they capture an area on the map, it stays theirs. Bibu and P4 are going to go basement instead.
Oh, and they're waiting for the call. This one could be quick.
Yep.
They love their bit of quick action.
It's going to be a 3-man job. I think Rice is joining them.
They're all in.
Is there a distracting play somewhere else? That's not the case, no. So this could be read by Liquid fairly easy. There's nothing happening across the map. So yeah, they've stopped the push. Nothing's gonna come quickly from this. They think elsewhere of it. And yeah, Liquid, they read it. They know something's up. Not enough is happening on the map. Shinka's on the balcony with his teammate hand in hand. They're gonna start making some noise, open up these windows, put those air chips down the master bedroom door. That means that the hard breach can start going through. The only problem is there is no hard breach from Wolves. If they take master bedroom control, they cannot gain anything with that. They cannot breach the walls.
Look at this super shorty of Lagonis. This thing can pack a punch, and it does indeed. P4 gets rocked by that secondary shotty. They know that they've got him trapped in this position. But Mowgli can't push up because of a cross that could be over towards Astro. Sidearm still in the hands of Lagonis. Let's switch out to the UMP whenever he'd like. But he's just giving calls for the rest of the team to potentially get into place. You think somebody from Wolves is going to come from that same angle downstairs, but no. That's not what they want. 15 kills on resets. He'll be in an engagement. Softens up Mowgli. That's 12 kills from him on Wolves. Those are the 2 star players. Mowgli is so patient, but he could just very easily walk in, get the kill, and walk out. He's got Bibu down below if they want to go for the pinch.
They have smoke in it as well. Could smoke off the line of sight from the crossfire, walk in, take that 1v1 against a shotgun, but no, so far. Wolves waiting for something to happen first. Liquid, they're happy to match it.
Both of these teams know what's on the line here. This advantage for Team Liquid has really not been used at all, and it's going to come fast and furious. Down goes Mowgli to Palu. So all that patience from Mowgli inside a bathroom, it doesn't work out at all. Now it's Rise to take the head off a reset. Shinka goes a second from Rise. The leadership is all that's left for Wolves. Bibu and Rise in a 2v3. Liquid want to secure overtime. I want it as well, Nick. Are we going to get it? Not a lot of time for Wolves to work with. They need the diffuser. It's just inches away from Rise. And there's Bibu called into action, but Lagonis is going to keep peeking with this super shorty. Nesk secures overtime for Team Liquid. Man, Wolves could not deal with a single player, and it cost them the entire round.
Yeah, and to be honest, they didn't even really try, right? I mean, Ash walks from downstairs first, no trade. Member of Bibu has grenades, 2 of them in pocket, and dies. And Bibu waited for over a minute straight on that basement brown stairs, waiting for something to happen. Maybe Lagonis runs away, but he knows better. As long as Lagonis stays on that Astro staircase, he is causing so many problems from Wolves because they cannot walk into Astro, they can't walk up the Astro stairs, and nothing's happening, so it's not like Lagonis is needed elsewhere. No members of Liquid are dying, so all the spots are covered, the crossfires are there. It didn't matter. Wolves not applying any actual pressure in the round made that way too easy for Liquid. And we've got ourselves overtime. Now it's a best of 3 in terms of rounds. First win 2, they take it all. And this is where the pressure is at its absolute highest. Now, what are they playing for, you might be asking?
What are they playing for?
3rd/4th seed going into the next stage of the Invitationals.
Oh, wow.
Now, the difference is, starting in lower bracket, that's seed 4, right? That means that if you lose any best of 3, you are out of the tournament, you're going home. By getting 3rd seed, you will start in the upper bracket. However, seed 2 will pick amongst the 3rd seeds who they want to play against. So your opponent will choose you, essentially. You have no say. But if you lose your best of 3, then you go to the lower bracket where you have 1 more life. That's a pretty nice advantage to have. Yep. That's what they're fighting for.
Desk will talk about this surely in post as well. First nade, hucked in by Mowgli. Wolves will spend 2 of these rounds on attack, 2 rounds on defense for Liquid, and then obviously you'll have those swaps that will come in. Diffuser in the hands of Shinka. Do you think that the loss of the grip on the F2 is why we've been seeing so many 417s or 417s, depending on how you want to say it?
I'm sure it's a factor. And I was watching the G2 game earlier. Alama on the Twitch whiffed a very easy kill because that grip was removed. So when these changes happen so quickly, right before a tournament, it can be difficult to adjust, even for professional players, because you play so many hours with the grip. One day, it's gone. It's not easy to adjust to. 417 packs a punch on LAN. No ping, perfect hit direct. 2 bullets will drop most bodies.
In terms of map control right now, Liquid on the peripheries of the bomb site. They don't have anybody over towards 90, which should allow the hard destruction from Wolves to open up a small line of sight. No? Is there not a Selma that went over there? Did I miss something?
I believe it did.
Ask likely shot it. So he might not be actively playing on 90, but take a look. He might get the Selma yet again, and he dies. He loses his life in the process. Wolves picking up 2 kills and getting open that wall from 90 into Vault. That's about as successful as you can get.
That's a heist and a half. Shinka still scanning with that Twitch drone. He got the Goyo canister, which means, they got 1 of them. There is a second one popped now by Lagonis. It buys 20 seconds, but there are 60 seconds left to go. That was not necessarily the right time to do so. Wolves can wait that out, get in position. Mowgli rotating towards that office balcony for the pinch. Otherwise, all pressure from the same side. Wolves have a good read on this location, or on this bomb site attack, rather.
2 players from Liquid sitting inside of the A bomb site. Resets goes for a challenge towards 90 because they know at this point having a disadvantage in numbers is bad. Down goes Rise to Palu, and Palu will creep up towards Study. It'll be Mowgli the next one there. You gotta watch out for Capcan traps. It's already cost you before. It might cost you again. Bibu takes some damage because of that. 20 seconds to go. Lagonis guarding this door with a shotgun. Palu down. Lagonis could get killed by the pinch. He takes the engagement. Not with the shotty out, and Resets falls as well. Almost a flawless round for Wolves to move to series point again.
Such a hard defense to break for Wolves too. Lagonis in arguably the perfect position. Doesn't find anything for Team Liquid. Up to this G11. Goes to the swing aggressively at the worst timing possible. Unknown to him. Because at the same time, Wolves, they're ready to go. They pushed forward, so the shotgun would have been great there. But you don't know these things when you're in the heat of the moment. You're gambling the odds and you're making your own decisions with what you have to work with. It comes down to Paolo dying top main. That snowballed things out of control as Liquid lost that precious map control of Office, which meant Lagonis was likely dead a few seconds later as the members of Wolves would be knocking down the bomb site door and then seeing him standing in that default corner. ABG for both teams, first choice. Liquid starts it, Wolves, they might look to finish it. In terms of kill count for Wolves, look at that board. 8, 9, 8, 8, and then 14 for Mowgli. It is very, very even between the 4 members of Wolves. A little bit of a different story for Liquid. Resets with 15 kills again, just like in the first map of Bank, he had 16 before they lost the map. Then you got a long way to fall, all the way down to 5 on Legonis, and then 8 on the most of the other members of the squad.
Attackers' objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
It's been a defender-sided series, but that didn't hold in the previous round. Liquid hoping that it will. Again, they burn a very fast Lion. Entry through Art for Palu. Activate one of those Banshees. He walks right back out.
Loading back.
Wondering why Liquid keeps using that first EE1D so fast. You honestly think that it's because they're wary of Wolves going for a spawn peek?
I'm not sure either, because typically when we play, I was like, why are you using this early? The only like logical conclusion is like a spawn peek or early aggression, but drones can do the same job. It can also just be a matter of like pop that line, sprint towards the building, buy some seconds, but time isn't the problem for Liquid. Oh, the opening kill there is beautiful from Nesk up above. Not what not what P4 had figured out. All the way around, sorry. Nesk dies to the kill. Had it backwards.
It happens to the best of us, don't worry.
P4 got the kill. A nice opening for Wolves. And Nesk, you know, keeps dying time and time again early on.
Nesk has been playing on a bell curve. He was slow in the start, then peaked in the middle, and is now going back to not being so proficient. P4 down. No more. Ask walks right in, and that's just bad timing for Wolves because P4 had been holding that angle for so long, and the moment that he looks away, that's when he perishes. Nesk, in particular, on attack, has been very poor.
Yeah.
On defense, he thrived. Again, for Liquid, the good news is that you only have a single attacking round. This is it. You win it, you get to go back to defense where you have looked more comfortable, though not in that first overtime round. Ask gets peeked by Mowgli. He's feeling really good inside a vault. And cashes that check. Mowgli's taking a lot of damage in the process. Rise now on the ground from resets. Can he be secured? Palu will enter from below. He'd come down from Art before, and he can't secure Bibu. This is a bit out of character for Palu. Usually good enough to secure that kill, losing a lot of HP in the process, but finally getting it. Rise behind the Kiba barrier will be picked back up, and Palu cannot get either of the players from Wolves in this spot. Legonis holding onto the diffuser as resets, looks to shut them all out from getting back in. He does so successfully, and now the clock will run. Shinka doesn't have any toxic canisters left, so he cannot conceal his entry back to the bomb site. Rise on the flank. Legonis taking damage. Rise will be watched by likely Palu on those stairs. Now it's Rise in a reverse position from where Palu was before, trying to draw him out. Wolves are wasting time. Rise, a beautiful shot. He goes for the pre-fire, but oh, he times it poorly. Shinka for the clutch, and he gets the boom with plenty of time. What a hero play from Wolves. They silence Team Liquid, and they win the match.
Definitely a cause for celebration. Shinka had a massive round on Bank in a 1 versus 4 in the server stairs essentially, and he finds the 1v2 clutch and overtime against Liquid. And Wolves, they take it, but they go all the way. Third map, overtime against Liquid.
That last map was just a thing of beauty. No words from Liquid whatsoever.
That's a tough loss.
A brutally tough loss.
Especially the way it ended, right? Post plant, 2v3 in your favor. You got things covered. A few gunfights not going your way. A shotgun in close distance from Shinka is all it took to destroy them from that favorable position. And Liquid, they go out lower bracket, 4th seed.
Liquid, the lowest ranking team to survive this group. Wolves above them. Coming into this matchup, I just simply wouldn't have thought that. I would not have thought that Liquid would be where they are right now, but you know, we make the predictions and then we see how the results actually unfold. Yep. I also didn't think G2 would be as good as they've been. And M80, I thought they'd be good, but as good as they've been as well. Same with M&M, I never would have guessed that.
No.
But that's the beautiful thing of a world championship. It brings out the best. That's it for you and I. Liquid Wolves in the books, but there's more matches to come. 2 more matches to go on this stream and on the main stream as well. We've got a break for you, but then we're going to continue on with the second half of today's matches. See you soon.
I'm Nicholas Morton, but you know me as Pingu. I'm a 2-time Rainbow Six Siege World Champion and former top Rainbow Six Siege player in Pro League. Welcome to my Siege Ranked Bootcamp. We're talking 20 seconds left on the clock, you got the diffuser in hand, what do? Play the way that you're comfortable with, because you have confidence when you're in this position. That is when you're gonna be at your very best. Good luck.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the studio, to the command center. After a long and grueling matchup, we made it happen, and Wolves made it happen against Team Liquid on Villa Map 3. That's a close one, I have to say, but scrappy in some other ways. Let's break things down before we wrap up Group B here on the desk. I'm Miloš, with me are Demo and Exor Troika. Let's go first with map number 1. Bank. We'll put them up on the screen and go a bit quicker because we got some games scheduled to keep up with. Demolad, help me out.
Yeah, Bank, Wolves pick. We knew it was going to be strong for them. I think it was. You could see that coordinated playstyle that we've seen, of course, inside of VUL in Stage 3. That was more the Wolves that we're used to seeing. Liquid really struggle. Apart from resets, there's no one there that you can look at and say, yeah, they had a good game. I mean, Liquid, they were struggling with like clearing a smoke top blue stairs. That was the level. If they can't even do that, Liquid were never going to win this map.
Yeah, it was one of those maps that you got to think about it and you think in the context of things, could Liquid have done a little bit more? Yes, absolutely. I think that Bank was a very sluggish start for them. It was great to see the way that Wolves approached it because they were throwing the kitchen sink at just getting one roamer cleared. They were really working quite well there as a team, but also at the same time, you've got to question some of the utility usage as well from Liquid.
Now on to map 2 in this series. We'll put the scoreboard up on the screen for you to see. We went to Oregon, a classic map, of course, but Team Liquid came in with the comeback 7-4 to take us into a third. What happened in there, Ollie?
Well, Wolves got off to a pretty shocking start, honestly. They won the first round, and then after that, everything really went from bad to worse. Liquid's attacks were incredible, and it was great to see because we know that Liquid can be that aggressive attacking team. Ask had a great time here. Resets, of course, had a great series overall, and the stars of the show really were Team Liquid here on Oregon. They were coming up with a lot of mini games. Wolves can be a team that are extremely slow to attack. You know, we used to give them the sort of meme and nickname of they always attack in the last 10 seconds. They always execute in the final 25 seconds of the round. So when you set up a lot of mini games to solve in front of all that, you do a great job at wasting a lot of time.
And the Vitality Core memes continue on. But what if we went to map 3? You just saw it on Villa. It was definitely back and forth to kind of solidify how close this game was. 8-6 as went to OT. Demo.
What a game. I mean, there are some big moments, big clutches. I think back to, it was 4-1 to Wolves, and then Paulo was able to win that big 1v1, and then that kind of twists the tail even more, so Liquid get back into it. Wolves then, they started getting desperate. I seen them go for rushes. Wolves rushing, that's not like them, and it wasn't working for them. They're dropping rounds. We go to OT, and then look at the finish. I mean, that round in itself, I wish there was a telestrator. I wish there was a telestrator because it's such a good round to go back and watch.
That double shotgun, I can't believe that actually happened. It was probably the luckiest 1v2 clutch that we've seen, but you know what? It still works out at the end. It goes the way of Wolves. Our MVP for the series, who is it? We've got 3 maps, so plenty of data to work with. It's Shinka, who I believe got those last 2 kills with the shotty.
It's only clutch.
If you can't give him MVP for that clutch, what can you give him? Because there was nobody really on the side of Wolves aside from maybe Mowgli that was in conversation for MVP. Shinka, for me, great performance on Bank, really stood up when it mattered on Villa, because we were watching that Villa and we were thinking, this has got max OT written all over it. Of course, we went to an overtime, but we thought that that was a Liquid round through and through. But Shinka pulling it out of the bag when it mattered the most. Always nice, Miloš, to get one of the support players on this MVP graphic.
That's true. And now on to, I guess, the main dish, Group B. Now it's been closed out, and what does it look like? We're going to show you on the screen in a second with the visual. That's it. After this, we go to playoffs. Of course, there's still Group C and D for today, but this in just a bit. M&M Gaming closed things out undefeated at 16 points and plus 23 in rounds. Incredible performance from the up-and-coming team in Europe. 12 points for Sonics at number 2, 7 for Wolves after their victory against Liquid. Liquid at 4th with 5 points. Of course, Direwolves eliminated with no points, minus 27 round differential. That's what we have. And of course, M&M get a better seeding. Sonics also at 2nd place. They'll get to pick who they play against. So they exactly made it there, as Fresh said when we were recapping their game versus Direwolves, by 1 round. They needed to win 7-1 or 7-0 against them on their 2nd map. That's exactly what happened. So well done, Sonics. With that, I think we can wrap things up from us here at the command center. So Ollie, Demo, thank you so very much. Hello, look at them. They're so pretty. There you go. put the lower third. It's been great having you. But now it's time to continue with Group C and D. We'll close all of it out for today. That's the entire group stage in the next few hours. Jackie, our wonderful Jackie Jing, will be on here, and she'll fill you in with all the info that you need with our wonderful analysts. So see you in a bit.